Alright guys, and welcome to Dope Check episode number 54. We're back in action, roster menu is well underway, and we're pretty much coming to a conclusion. Big rumours today that Kenny is about to sign with the Minnesota RØKKR, and Falcons are about to unveil their squad. How good are they going to turn out to be? OpTic and SCRIMS, some big information over the last couple of days on exactly what's happened behind the scenes at OpTic. Shotzzy gave his perspective, Pred has certainly given his perspective. We've got lots to dive into today, and we have a new co-host on the show. Ace will be back in due course, but today, on this fine Monday, we have a new handsome brown man on the show, and that is Don. How are we doing, sir? You're looking great. It was good to see you last weekend in Dallas.
What's going on? What's going on, man? I'm glad to be here. That was a really good intro. I'm like caught off guard. Like
I just do this. Like, you know.
Nah, you're like that. You're like that. I was smiling the whole intro.
That's what videos that they do.
Oh, no. I'm happy to be here, and I'm just ready to have a good time, and hopefully do a whole bunch of shows throughout the rest of this year.
Hell yeah, what's good, Trey?
Yeah, we're back. Currently dealing with a sickness, but I ain't like Ace. All right, my shit don't stop. We're back in this. I'm sick. I don't know what he's doing. He'll be back somewhere along the line. He's making money, probably. That's what he's gonna say. But listen, some rosters might even drop during this episode. I've heard there's some rosters that are going to be releasing today. So, might be some breaking news, might not be. But listen, we've got a good show coming on. The league's about to kick off again. The events are crammed in now. It's like an event every month.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, we got Don. Listen, these shows about to go crazy. These shows about to be great. And, I can't wait to get them going. It's
about to be a good time. Let's crack right on, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to start here. So Kaysan was talking about bringing back Anaheim. Now I know we've been here. I only been once to the Hilton Bar. It was a good time. Lots of shit went down in that room for sure. I don't exactly know how he intends to pull this off, but like he mentioned this to me and I'm sure to several others at Dallas. He was like, "Yo, I'm cooking something big." He didn't want to say what it was, but he was saying how he was trying to try and cook something special for the new year. And he's trying to make Anaheim happen because it was meant to happen, Trey, this year. At least there were the rumors, right? That they were going to... The first event of this year was meant to be Anaheim. It never happened in the end. He calls it MLG Anaheim, which is kind of interesting just because like MLG doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know if he's trying to figure out a partnership there. But yeah, this would be an insane dub for the scene if he could pull this off somehow.
I think when he says MLG Anaheim, I think he's just like talking about like the past, you know what I'm saying? Instead of calling it just Anaheim, he's just trying to replicate or recreate another MLG Anaheim. And listen, I saw some Halo pros hating on Kaysan because like you didn't get a winner's was it like a winner's benefit or something like that?
Yeah,
there's no benefit when I won it. Listen, respectfully, Kaysan, what he's doing ain't no one else doing.
Right.
He's putting on LAN events. He's trying to do all these shows. He's trying to do all these things. Even in the preseason for Black Ops 6, he had 4 teams out there. He's trying to give esports something which, for someone like him who's in the mainstream, like, he's friends with all like, Kaysan, all these people. For him to come over to esports and like chill over with us and try and help out the esports scene is crazy. And you guys have got we all got to show some respect on that. He's coming to all these events. He's staying for all these events. It's... and now he's trying to give us one of the greatest events that MLG's ever had, Anaheim. Those AMFs in the Hilton bars, all these stories you hear, roster changes, all this happens at Anaheim. And if he pulls this off, undisputed GOAT. There's no with no backing, like obviously he's gonna have some like private backing, whatever like that, but he's doing this for the love of the game. Mm-hmm. You think Kaysan's getting paid millions of dollars or something like? Nah, he wants to give something back because he can and he's like that. So Kaysan, that's literally that's all I got.
For me, Kaysan, I'd really appreciate this event if he can make this happen because all the past MLG Anaheims, I was underage. I didn't enjoy like the. He got the picture of the bars and stuff there. I didn't get to enjoy those conversations and staying up and drinking with the bros and having a good time. So for me, I only think I went to one as well. I think it was Black Ops 4. And
same here,
we might have had a fill-in. I think we played with Nolson.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nolson,
God, wow.
So my only Anaheim, I'm pretty sure, unless there was one in World War II, I don't remember. I don't think there was. I think my only Anaheim I ever played was with a fill-in, so I haven't even got to like play for real at Anaheim or like the full experience. So I would love to. I would love for that. It'd be lit. So if he could pull this off, like Trey said, like W fucking Kaysan, like that's so fire.
Yeah, it was going crazy. Like I was chatting to him a bit about F1, and he was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, you know, who's your favorite driver and all this?" And I got talking about Lewis Hamilton, and it was like, "Oh, yeah, I know Lewis. You know, comes out and I see him every so often in LA." I'm like, "Sounds. Let's get on a flight."
Yeah, one thing I will say about him, like I said, like he is mainstream like that. He knows a lot of celebrities, all that type of shit. But like he don't treat you no different, We are just a couple cod schmucks,
Yeah.
I'm retired. I work with Tactical Rab now. Everyone thinks I'm out here trying to like fucking like clickbait. And he treats me probably and everyone else the same as he would treat like Madison Bear or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I think he's just a really dope guy, and I think like I said, a lot of people got to show a lot of respect for him in that aspect.
Hell yeah. Okay, Jackal nerf. It's kind of surprising today. I don't know if we saw this coming exactly, but it looks like the damage range is going to get nerfed to some degree. Dom, what do you think about the meta right now? Because when they did the GA on the Jackal, it was kind of controversial. They took rid of the attachments. The SMGs were complaining about it. Turns out the meta, as it lately, has still been probably fine in terms of balance. But this could tip the pecking order just at the right time for your boy Ken to come back in the league.
I personally feel like this game, I mean, the meta is cool, and I don't mind for a SMG to be better than the AR because I feel like it kind of makes it more entertaining. Having like the best players in the world be SMG players like Neptune making such an impact. That's like partially because of the meta. Like the sub is the takeover gun in this game. Like I think I'm not like sure exactly the numbers, but I'm pretty sure Scrappy's like the only AR in the top 20 of like Slayer rating or something. That just means like the sub is just better at getting kills. Like your sub players are gonna stand out in this game, which I personally think that's actually good for viewing. But at the same time, this AR, in my opinion, is probably the worst AR in like the past couple years. Like the auto is better. The tack was inconsistent, but at least it could just randomly headshot and you could just be taken over that day. Like the MCW from last year was really good. So I do feel like the ARs needed a little bit of help. I just feel like a lot of ARs in this game were just inconsistent and struggling. So hopefully this does something. I haven't like got on the game and like tested it out, but hopefully, I don't know if there's any like numbers. Like, does it take an extra bullet long range? Like, what's the actual difference? Anybody know?
Yeah, I mean, it says here that the damage range has gone from 17.1 meters to 15.9 on the close range damage. It's gone from 22.2 to 21.6, and then it's gone from 32.4 to 29.2. So you're talking like 10% range drop off in all of the categories. So it's still going to be good. And
it's probably going to take an extra bullet long range.
So if it takes an extra,
they added an extra tick of damage long range. I'm not sure. It may not make that much. The gun's going to feel the same. Is the point? It may just be a little bit. May just.
I think the issue.
Be a little weaker.
I think the issue is when it comes down to a lot of these GAs and stuff like that. Like the pros didn't want to GA the Jackal, so they GA'd some attachments. Now the gun's been nerfed. Do we see these attachments come back? You know what I'm saying?
They never do that though. They never bother with that.
Are we just gonna flip flop? Because I remember like Don, when you were in SMG, like,
yeah,
we always banned the ARs. We never really banned the SMGs. We just tried making the best one worse. And I always thought that if we ban this many ARs, and we should ban an SMG if it's the best SMG and see where we go from there. But it never happens. And when a nerf like this happens, you know that GA chat. If this SMG starts sucking, these guys gonna go crazy.
I feel like if it stays the same, like handling wise and shooting wise, but it just takes one extra bullet, I think the subs will still be the best gun, personally.
I think the AR is genuinely like bad.
Yeah.
Like
it's like you can do good with it, but like you can't take over. Like you've never seen an AR in this game and been like blown away, have you? Like there's some kills where I seen a Boozer last event, like he slid on. I'm like, whoa, he just sprayed like. Done that guy down, but like
even like
rare.
Even like in Black Ops 4, like that the ICR, it was like you you could post up, take over with it. But in this
Yeah.
game, I just genuinely feel like you just can't sit there and just take over a whole thing. Like the game's so fast.
You can't.
The gun doesn't kill that quick either. Like I've been stopping shooting a lot of people since playing rank play, and I feel like I'm like, bro, he should be dead. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I look away and look back, this motherfucker's still standing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully the ARs get a little bit more love. Like I said, sometimes they be changing these numbers and like they don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? The numbers might look good on paper, and then you get on the game and you're like, wow, this gun is still the best gun by far. So we got to see. Hopefully we, you know, just watch some scrims and play the game a little bit more, and I'll get a better opinion. But for now, I assume that the subs will still run the game.
No, I think that's probably a fair assessment. All right, let's do Rostermania, baby, because we've got quite a lot to get through. So, since we last did a show, Priestahh was gone from Gentlemates. They decided to make the two-man change that we talked about. They've kept Lunars. They're bench Lynnz as well. I guess the first question, Trey, is that they're benching these players. They've not.
I like it.
A lot of orgs are like,
it.
you know, bang, you're out of here. But they've announced it's the bench. I guess the technicality here is that there's a termination period in the contracts. So technically, they have to be benched anyway. Like, what they could say is, oh, they're benched, and then in 2 months' time, they just drop them. But it's like, do you know what I mean? It could be a PR stunt. But equally, I kind of feel like they're trying to do right by these players. Obviously, it's not matter for Priestahh, but for Lynnz, it's relevant.
Right by the players. I mean, like, respectfully, this is just how orgs should work. And you've got good players, and these players are going to need teams somewhere along the line, because every team's going to start. Like, you're telling me Lynnz can't just, like, you know, join a worse team for, like, I don't know, you could probably make like 10K, 15K off them or something like that. Especially if they've probably got like a clause in their contract where they go down to like a minimum salary, so they can try and make some money back on them. You know, you'll see a lot of teams hold a player, let's say, on the minimum, and if they can't make like 15, 20K back, they'll just terminate it so they don't really lose any more money on it. But I still think it is cool. So shout out LAG for actually keeping these players on a salary, on a contract, you know. And I mean, we said at the end of the day that we're never going to get rid of Lynnz. That's a star boy. He starts frying in challenges. Whoever's getting tucked in LAG, yeah, you can say goodbye because my boy Lynnz is back. That's just how it is. Like he's to LAG. He is like Envy's Hugh, and you know that's the way I class him. Like he's clearly fucking untouchable because he's just gonna join the best NA Challengers team, and he's gonna come back into this league team. If they make champs, Lynnz is at champs. I don't give a fuck.
He's probably in the World Cup. Yeah, they've probably something.
Yeah, Lynnz is there. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah. If you got any thoughts, Dom?
Oh, I'm sorry. My thoughts are, I mean, I guess it's cool, but I feel like it's just like if they cut them, they're gonna like, just because I was having this conversation with Ken a lot, like if they cut you, they're just gonna have to pay you anyway. So it's like, is it that? I don't know if it's which is like, I don't really have deep thoughts because like, is it just you're on the bench because they would have just been paying you that money anyways or not? Like, which one is it? Their team is a mess. Is Fellow on the team now, or are we not talking about the roster now?
I mean, we talk about it, yeah. Like Fellow's coming in.
Who was on the team? Who was the team now? Because
Fellow,
Johnny,
Lunars, Johnny,
and Kismet's still there. Yeah.
Wait. Fellow, Lunars,
Johnny and Kiz.
Okay. I actually kind of like that.
I mean, the Johnny pickup I think is pretty good. Like, given
I actually kind of like that because Johnny can kill horror, and Kiz obviously played with Paco, so he knows how to make that work. And then Lunars, I don't think he was playing good when he was in the league, but he was frying when he had Fellow on his team in challenges.
Yeah.
So
he also joined a very shit team,
and he joined a very shit team, right? So this is on Lunars to play like how he was in challengers, and Johnny, yeah, it's really on Lunars and Johnny. I feel like Fellow doesn't need to like look crazy because everyone wanted Fellow to get picked up, but I don't feel like he was just dropping 1.4s or anything. He just needs to be a leader and do his job. If Johnny and Lunars play like how they do in challengers, like they'll be fine. But Lynnz and Priestahh, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, obviously they're keeping Lynnz. He's their superstar player. But I feel like they're just keeping Priestahh on the team because they would have had to pay him anyways. That's just how.
I agree with that.
I think that's what they were going to do with Skies. You know, they were going to keep him, terminate him
Yeah.
after 2 months because that was like the termination.
So they're like, oh,
clause
we've benched you, but really, like, they're trying to.
Yeah,
drop
listen,
you.
you've got
Yeah.
2 months left, mate. If you get bought out, you get bought out. If you don't,
Right.
you're fucking gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Now with Disguise happened to Priestahh now, so happened to Kenny.
I mean, even talk about the LAG roster, though. You know, I feel like a lot of ARs in this game, if you're not Scrap, you're not Celium, you know, all these top ARs, you got to drop a minimum like 0.95 to a 1.05. You got to be neutral around these areas.
Right.
You can't be getting tucked. You know,
That's every
regardless.
COD.
Yeah.
That's every COD, bro.
The reason I say this one in particular, though, because if you're getting shit, like, you know, if you're dropping a 0.7 on a Skyline as an AR, yeah, your subs are gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Especially on the harder one. But speaking of Priestahh,
Hell yeah. I mean, their qualifier run, by the way, just because, I mean, look, realistically, Gentamates, they're making champs, they're chalked, like they're at 30 points, but they can obviously get better. They still need, there's still some shit they got to resolve behind the scenes in their org, though, right? Because, like, obviously the relationships between all parties haven't been ideal. There's been plenty of talk about that. So even if their roster's better, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have the best environment. But they're 5 games. They play Ravens, Surge, Boston, Thieves, and Ultra. None of those are easy.
oh, they're going 0-5.
Let's be real. None of those are easy. So it's a tough run.
This roster change might be over for Major 4. I ain't gonna lie.
Major
That
4
is a very tough
qualifiers, they
schedule.
play Miami first and Miami Rokkr. I mean, I'm not going to lie, their schedule is not really easy for the rest of the year.
Honestly, if they go 2-3 or 3-2 there,
That's a good
that's
run.
really good. Like
That's a
is
good run.
really good. Like I am worried about Ravens. Like I could see them beat Ravens in that first match. I
Yeah.
can easily
Listen,
see them beating Ravens.
the
in that first
Ravens
match.
Right, we got to talk about
compromised.
Ravens, mate. They are for sure compromised.
Listen,
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to jump straight into that?
I mean, yeah, let's just do like the quick Kenny swings and roundabouts here, because
All right.
Okay.
like after the major, people were talking about, okay, is Ken even gonna come back? Like, does he want to sit out the year? And then all of a sudden, Trey, we start to hear about this Ravens rumor. Like, possibly there's some interest there, and it's something that I mentioned in a video I made on like the Friday. I was like, look, Vivid was never really the flex that they wanted on the team. For some reason, he has a habit of getting dropped, even though he's not necessarily the problem. But it's happened every year for the last like 5 years. So, you know, wouldn't be a shocker if it happened again. Like, I don't want to look at the lineman cards in great detail, but like, he wasn't great this stage. Ravens obviously have regressed. They're comfortable for making the world championship, so they can afford to take a bit of risk. The Kenny thing made kind of a lot of sense. There's the history with Slasher and TJ. Kenny comes in. I mean, look, Slasher, TJ, Ken, Gwyn. On paper, if everything goes to plan, it's a nice roster. So there was some parts of it that made sense, but obviously Carolina, they didn't really see it that way. And we talked about that a few days ago on the channel. But my take is like, look, okay, if they don't want to pay any money to get Kenny, okay, I get it on some level, but you've at least got to give the team an alternative, because the problem is when your team are trying to take pay cuts to make this happen and you prevent it from happening, that team is compromised.
I mean, listen, that team's compromised from the moment you say, all right, Reese, we want to get rid of you and we want to pick up someone else. And then you can't pick up said player. And then Reese just sat there like, well, boys, you didn't fucking want me, but I got to stay because he couldn't fucking do anything. And now they're just getting tucked. You know, and I've always said it because I said this before, Don, you know, back in in Vanguard when we was having our roster issues and we tried picking you up from Paris.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were trying to make it work and you told me there's going to be a buyout. And I said, oh, shit, London ain't paying no buyout.
Yep.
And I wasn't even making enough money to say, yeah, we can take it. I'll take a pay cut to get Donnie. And I was on the fucking minimum. What do you mean? And I feel like an organization doesn't even want that bearing over their heads that players will take a pay cut from a multi-million-dollar organization to pick up another player. So they don't even want that bad press because you already started it. But right now, you know, you've got Vivid sat there. The players don't want to play with him. He knows that. He probably don't want to play with them no more. It's like, fuck those guys. You know, we weren't even that bad. You know, we weren't actually that bad. Gwyn's a 1.5 in line and a 1.05 in land. Like, there's, you know, the consistency ain't there within the team. And that's not me calling him a bad player. I'm just saying he just fries online. Right. And he fries online, which gives the unreal aspect of him going to LAN and just turning into like Kyrie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He come. I even spoke with his mum about it. He's not dropping 1.4s, 1.5s on LAN. He's dropping 1.05s. You ask anyone else that, it's like, oh, he's playing well, but in the grand scheme of things, you throw him in the online aspect. Yo, this guy's that fucking guy. And then they plays bad, and Vivid's like, damn, I'm gone again. Were they getting Kenny? And they're probably sat there thinking. He sat there thinking like, bro, this guy's been dropping 0.5s, 0.3s. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean Kenny's coming in for me?
So apparently they scrimmed a day without him, and then they were like, oh no, actually Reese, come back. We're just trying to do a role change. And then they tried the role change and they got shit slapped.
I got told that they done a role change between Gwyn and Reese, and they got tucked. Then they said, "Nah, fuck it, we're reverting." We were just trying something.
We're just trying it, Reese. Like, no,
we didn't want you to go. We didn't want you to go. We were questioning if you want to do a role change because the way people don't like doing role changes.
As we know.
I have some thoughts. First off, before I get into my thoughts, Brother Jenkins, fuck you, okay? I had an offer from London and Boston in Vanguard. I was really good at Vanguard. I was at least a top 10, top 20 player at Vanguard. So
we were trying to play with him in Vanguard, and our team was like third in the standings.
Exactly. So fuck you, Brother Jenkins. Second of all, I had no clue they were like trying to take pay cuts to play with Ken. I know Ken really wanted to play with them, and I know some people wanted to play with Ken, but I had no clue people wanted to take pay cuts. I feel like that's doing a lot, especially because Ravens aren't they like fourth in the standings? Like, I'm not taking a pay cut in that situation.
It was like the rumor. Like I didn't hear it, but it was like a rumor.
Yeah, it was a rumor that they were like trying to find a way to help Ravens
like make it work.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that they should never do that, especially when they're that high up on the standings. And another thought is like, it's just such a tough situation because if they get Ken for Reese, that's my LAT team, but win for me, and that team had PTSD in 2021.
Yeah,
I got top 6. We were a top 4. We were really a top 3 team. We got top 6 at the first major, and I got insta drop. Basically, I was chalked up. That team just has permanent PTSD. If I'm Tej or someone, I'm just thinking like, wait, didn't I already have this team before? Like, I already had this team in this shit. I literally lost 4 and got scapegoated. So I wouldn't want to do that. Then it's like, okay, we can't get Kenny. I feel like their best options will be like it's always like one person they could pick up. I guarantee the other person wouldn't want them. Like, they could probably pick up like ProLoot. Slasher probably would never want to play with that guy. They probably should pick up Spart. Spart, to me, I know he won an event with Slasher, Volk, Cheese. He obviously played bad in the league for a lot of matches, but I've coached Chris. I've been around Spart a lot. I'm telling you, that kid is like a good Band-Aid situation. Like, he would probably fit their team pretty well. He's fast. He plays for the win. He sits in the hill. Does he throw up some bullshit here and there? Yeah, he does throw the fucking bullshit up, but he plays for the win, and he would probably make their team better. Slasher's probably like, what? I would never play with that guy. That guy, I was playing with that guy before, and it was awful. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do they do? Like, someone on their team is going to have to play with somebody that they probably don't think highly of. You know what I'm saying? Like, every player has their flaw, especially in challengers. There's a reason why the player's in challengers in the first place, right? There's some flaw. He might not know how to play a certain mode. He might be toxic. He might be staying up late every night. There's something you're going to have to deal with, something bad from somebody. So I feel like they just need to like come to a conclusion, and they need to do it fast. They don't need to waste time with Vivid if they already want to drop him. You know how that is, like, knowing, like, I knew I was getting dropped on Thieves. It was ticking time. I'm showing up to matches stressed. Like, I'm biting my nails. Like, is there even a purpose of me winning this match? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how Reese is feeling, but like, they just need to do something and fast and not waste time.
No, I think that's all fair.
Was I saying too much? Maybe I was.
No, I think that was bang on the money, really. Like, because I think you're absolutely right. I just wonder what happens. My question with that org is always, okay, what do the decision makers say? What do the decision makers do? Because if you can't get Ken, because you don't want to pay some money, then okay, the only option is you go down to challengers. But even then, maybe Ravens are like, well, if we pick someone else up, we've got to pay Vivid 2 months off of salary, so we can't be doing that. So,
yeah, but to counter that, paying Reese probably 2 months of salary, I'm not in his pockets. That's probably cheaper than how much they would have been paying for Kenny. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure, yeah, and it's cheaper than the amount of prize money they're going to lose by having a shit team.
Right. And then the Challengers player, they could just throw the Challenger. I know, obviously, I hope the Challengers player can get something decent. But realistically, throw Spark fucking 10K. Like, he could throw Spark. They don't even have a minimum anymore, apparently. Throw him some shit, and he'll just play.
State minimum. State minimum is what you got to throw. But that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers will play for the love of the game.
Throw Spark, like, whatever. Like, you're going to have to pick up a Challengers player. You
throw a Challenger player state minimum, Don. He's going rogue for the league. He's playing for his spot next year. His
eyes are falling out of his head, bro.
Bro. He's not just showing up. He's sleeping in the gaming chair. He's showing up.
Especially an opportunity like that on the 4th best team, or like the 4th team in the league.
Even a curveball, because Pierce hasn't been playing good. And like he hasn't been like making waves in challengers this year, but he got picked up on the Rokkr last year. I don't think his team was just chalked. I don't think he did awful. And I know Tej thinks highly of Pierce still, and I know Slash, that was their World War II team.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe try to recreate that magic. I don't know, but I just feel like this team is a ticking time bomb with Reese at this point. Like you're literally just gonna waste time.
I've been in this situation before. You probably have as well, Don. When you want to get rid of a player, you try and tell them something doesn't happen. It's blocked. It's chalked. The same happened with Bans. Bans and Black Ops 4. We wanted to drop Bans. We told APOC, Kurt. You both know them. We told him to go up there and tell him. Kurt comes back down. He started crying, man. I couldn't drop him. We got to carry on playing with him.
Nah.
And I was like, shit. So we were sat there trying to get trying to get shocks in the roster. We're planning on like bringing him to Vegas or something like that, so he can come live with us and scrim with us and everything like that. And then we go back to Vegas. We're playing with Ben, and we're like, shit, it's just so chalked. It's just so chalked,
bro.
It's so chalked. There's no getting back from it. I will say that you can not like your teammate but still play with him. Like, if he's good. You can push whatever beef you have aside. That's what I did with Rated. You push whatever beef you have aside. When you sit down, lock in, you're still good. You're still fine. But when it comes down to dropping a player that you don't want on your team and you can't get rid of him and they know that, it's so done. It's over.
It's over.
OpTic scrimmed them the other day. They beat them 8-0. I don't know what's going on with Ravens and scrims, but they must know that it ain't looking good.
Shotzi's back on his fucking, you guys are dog shit arc now because of that.
Yeah, that's actually true as well. Shotzi's fresh off the 0-21 map spree. He's now going to be back on his bullshit. But I guess let's do the Kenny piece, right? Because, so RØKKR confirm, Paul is gone. I think the Paul piece is kind of a controversial one for me because obviously he's been their weakest player. He was pretty bad during stage 1. He did just well enough to save his kind of spot after Major 1, but like, I think you could argue in hindsight maybe that they could have made a change anyway at that point. Probably a more ruthless organization would have done. They gave it another stage. Now he's gone. And the options were a couple. I mean, obviously Fellow was one, but he's going to Gentamates. People had Brack pretty closely linked to this team. But clearly this org would always have wanted Kenny. I see some people, they're saying, why would you want Kenny? He's like a 0.3. And I'm like, I don't think people get it, Don. Do you know what I mean? They just don't get it. They just don't get it.
I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this since day. Like, Kenny just didn't like his OpTic team. You could tell. I said it from day one when they started playing bad, and it just didn't look like he enjoyed playing with them. And I'm not saying, this isn't me saying he doesn't like them. I never once said that. He doesn't like playing with them. He don't play the same way. It's not, this game ain't MW3. He probably has a different way of playing than they do, and they just didn't mesh, and he doesn't like playing with them. You think Kenny's a 0.3 player after winning champs 6 months ago?
No.
Come on.
My thoughts are, I really feel for Paul. Paul is one of the only people that really support my music. Like, he listens to my music before he plays matches and shit, so I think that's so fire. Yeah, so
Was he
really fuck
listening
with
to your
Paul.
shit with the headphones on? You know when he walked out with the.
Nah, I
with
don't
the
think so. I'm
defenders?
not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not
That'd have
sure.
been
I know
fun.
he was listening to it before some league match, and maybe someone's like, maybe that's why he got cooked. That was some funny shit. But he's listening to my shit, so I fuck with Paul. And like, I just want to give like some backstory because I was in Challengers. Paul was fucking gross at the end of last year. Like, he was 99 overall on 6-star hardpoint. In 6-star every mode, I promise you he was 99. I feel like he was one of the main reasons he won Challengers champs, and he worked so hard to get this opportunity to get back to the league, and he just didn't play well enough, which is like, I'm just being real. Like, with that all being said, like, I really was rooting for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still am rooting for him. Like, I really want him to do good, but he just, once you get to the league, like, there's certain play styles and challengers that just don't, which I feel like his play style is actually good. I don't feel like this applies to him, but there's just certain people in challengers where they're just running everything and they're so good and it doesn't translate to the league, which is weird because like I said, I feel like his play style does translate to the league because he doesn't like camp that hard. He doesn't do like, I feel like he plays pretty straightforward and he has like a good pace. So I don't know why he didn't play good in the league, but it just really, really like, it's just unfortunate, and I'm rooting for him. But just being realistic, he just didn't play well enough. So they had to do what's best for the team and make a change. But speaking on Kenny, this team will be really good for him because he's kind of like, well, one, Looney has always respected him. He's like, this is his team now. Like, regardless of the fans saying he's a 0.3, a 0.5, like, y'all gotta understand, Kenny's a 0.3, 0.5 recently, and he wins every year. He's going to a team. I even said, like, I'm worried, Ken. Like, if you go to this team, you gotta hoop. Like, you gotta play good because if you go to this team and you play bad, you won't ever play with the Shotzys, the Beezies, the Simps, the Hydras ever again. Like, you was in that category where every year you're playing with Draza, Envoy, like godlike players. Like, you can go to an event and drop a 0.9. Like, there was one event, Kenny and MW2, he played awful that event and they made grand finals. We got home. I'm like, Ken, I'm not gonna lie. If you did something, like, y'all would have won. He's like, yeah, you're right. If I did anything that tournament, we would have won. On this team, that's not gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna be able to do nothing or like be mid and like coast to top 3 sometimes because your teammates are godlike. So I feel like he is gonna have pressure. I mean, I've been talking to him a lot recently. I feel like he didn't feel that much pressure on OpTic, but he should feel some pressure to lead this team. This is his team. He should probably be the highest paid player on the team. He's the captain of the team. Whatever he says is going to go on the team. If he wants them to hit the back on this certain hill, this certain way, if he says it, they better all listen to him. So, like, it's going to be a lot of responsibility on him, and this is his moment to show his worth and like play well. And I think if they do listen to him and he plays good, he has to get a fucking kill. Like, I tried to tell him that while he was on OpTic. Like, I know he like what you said, Trey, like he didn't like the way they played, all of that. That is all true. That is all true, probably. But at the end of the day, on this team, Kenny got to get a fucking kill. And that's my best friend in the whole fucking world. Like, I love Ken. He has to get his kills, and then he has to get this team to win. And I feel like he knows how to win. He knows how to win. It's undisputable, bro. Like, you're not going to sit here and rewrite history. That OpTic team, those players were not known for being geniuses. Like, now all of a sudden they're on Twitter like, oh, this team doesn't know how to play. You guys don't play for the win. Like, OpTic was not known as these guys were high IQ COD players. And then Kenny joined the team, and now they're like, oh, this guy's lost. He doesn't go to the hill. They were never talking like that before. Kenny, in my opinion, Kenny instilled them to know how to fucking play. So hopefully he can do the same thing on this team and get a fucking kill. That's all he's got to do, and they can at least be top 6 or make champs. Where are they at in the standings? By the way,
we'll have a look at that in a second. Where you go, Trey?
Yeah, they're like 8th or something like that. But it's like when I
they're
always
10th
tell
actually
people
right now. They're in. Kenny's
they're 10th,
got,
but they're like tied, right?
It's close. But Kenny's got there's pressure on it. That is true.
It's like when I tell people as well, Don, like, listen, it's literally the same thing as you. I am your friend. Like, I'm telling you, And I'm not saying this about Kenny. I'm saying about all pros. I fuck with all the pros. If I'm saying you're playing bad, that's not me coming at you personally. You're just getting shit on. Yeah. And you know that. And your team knows that. The fans know that. When we say these things, and like you said, Ken's your best friend. You do got to get a kill. You ain't going to this Rokkr team and telling them how to play and not still getting a kill. Like you said, this is his last chance in terms of you get shit on in this team. He could have took the year off, which I'm not saying he should have done, but he could have took the year off and still had that, that group of players to play with. But I know Kenny ain't built like that. He wants to play.
He wants to compete. He's a dog.
He wants to show that he's not like how he was on OpTic. He just didn't like the way they play or whatever like that. He wants to show now he's got 3 youngsters or like 3 lesser known, like not superstar players that he can merge with and actually form some kind of like unity bond with, where they can actually just go out and get these gritty wins as a team like that, because now they do got Kenny leading the pack. They know what Kenny can do. And I feel like them players, they're going to show Kenny the respect to be able to do what they want to do. Because before they were pushing out wins left, right, rhubarb, game 5s, they were a gritty team with Paul, and Paul weren't playing the best. We can all agree. And let's not say that everyone else was playing great. Nero was getting absolutely tucked too. So, I feel like Nero's lucky as well that Paul was just playing bad before, because Nero's not had the greatest stint. So hopefully Kenny can go in there and actually change his team around, make Nero play like the superstar he can be in matches. But Kenny coming to this team, I actually really do like it. They deem it as like a fellow-esque, coming to a team and uplifting the spirits and whatever like that. Kenny is just that guy. I've been saying it for a while. Yeah, he played bad on point freeze, whatever you want, laugh it up. If he comes out and starts frying, or just a 0.91 but winning like 3 1s and stuff like that, that's what he's bringing to the team. And with Pred going to a different team and him and Kenny going to a different team, I'd be scared if I was OpTic. Respectfully, because you just dropped these players that everyone wanted Kenny gone, but no one wanted Pred gone. But Kenny comes out and he beats OpTic. That's got to tell you a lot of things.
I don't think I could say any more than you guys really said on it. I think I'm pleasantly surprised that Kenny's made the choice to come back now rather than waiting it out. Because as you say, he very much could have done, but he's taken a risk here that he's going to play well and he's going to get the best out of these guys in what is a tricky situation. But I mean, you look at Estriel. Estriel is a sensational player that I don't think we've seen the upper limit of yet. I think the same can be true for Geo. It's just their decision-making ain't the best. And we said this when this team was first formed at the start of the year. It's like, Paul as the 4th man, as good as we know he can be, he doesn't bring that like leadership and experience and decision-making that they might have needed. Even, I mean, after stage 1, we were talking, and okay, maybe a guy like Fellow makes sense. All of a sudden, Kenny becomes available. And it makes a lot of sense in partnership with these 3 guys. Now, look, is Kenny going to be losing his head watching some of the plays that Nero makes on the map? Sure. But, if they can get on top of that, then the team has a really high ceiling. I think we've seen that at points this season. But obviously, Ken needs to play better than he was on OpTic. I
feel like at least the play that Nero is going to make is going to be a constructive play to Kenny to actually talk about, rather than just, he's just fucking flown out and died. At least he's going to respect Kenny and be like, yeah, that's my bad, bro. I don't know why I done that. The classic COD player talk. I just blacked out, man. I don't even know what was going on.
I don't think these guys are like that, actually. They think about the game on a slightly higher level, but also there's quite a clear intention from Kenny. I wouldn't exactly say revenge, but Ken clearly wants to prove something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come back in this way, right?
Yeah. And I'm rooting for him. Like I said, I'm not even competing right now, so I'm living through him in my eyes. So I hope everything goes well for my boy. And I'm rooting. Now I'm a RØKKR fan. I'm an undercover RØKKR. Well, yeah, I'm a RØKKR fan, man. So hopefully they do good. But yeah, Ken, he just got to go crazy, bro. I don't want to add pressure and any more pressure, but he just got to go crazy. I don't want to add no pressure.
I will say, their games, their run is more doable than the run we looked at earlier for Gentlemates. Their run is OpTic, Boston, Ravens, Cloud9, Miami. That's as easy as it gets.
Oh, that's
really
nice.
Stage.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then next stage they play Falcons, Guerrillas, Toronto, Ravens, Surge. So that ain't bad either. So both of their runs in the qualifiers, they can pick up 3 wins a set here. get some decent placings at the majors, and they're going to be looking pretty good for champs. So I think Kenny's probably made a smart. I don't know if Kenny like, looks at this before he joins the team.
This is the bottom line of it. Kenny ain't there to win them events. They're not going to win an event. That team will not win an event. Kenny's there to get them to champs. Kenny gets them to champs. Job done. Nice little run. Couple wins here and there at a major. Little top 6. He's done what he needs to do. That's what he's there for.
Right.
And they got the OpTic series on Friday.
That's gonna be lit.
That is going to be
generational.
Yeah, I mean, even the CDL tweeted about it. The CDL put out, I don't know if I can find the tweet real quick, but I think, yeah, here it is. This series will be interesting for no specific reason. RØKKR versus OpTic. So, yeah, coming soon. But cool decision from Ken. I think, obviously, we're wishing him to turn it around. I know there's been a bit of talk as well, the fact that next year's game is meant to be pretty similar to this year's game. So people, you know, if you think it ain't his game, then that might not necessarily change. But it's not like Kenny just forgot how to play COD and is washed up in 6 months. Like, it don't work like that.
Right.
Other factors in play. All right, that's the Kenny thing. Let's just run through how this whole thing went down on OpTic, right? Because I'm still mind blown at this. Obviously, we've got our thoughts on the new team, how it's going to get on. They've just been scrimming thieves as we've been running the show here. So Shotzzy kind of gave a bit of background on this, saying how he was the one to pick up the phone and tell AG, you know, enough's enough. We're going to move a different direction. Apparently, Pred wasn't very happy about it. The thing is for AG is like, I can't see how Pred didn't see this coming. That's the way that I look at it. Because it was so obvious. Like, the writing was so on the wall that Pred was going to have to go again, that it shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone, really. I mean, as we said on the previous show, we were hearing before the major, like, we thought they were going to drop Pred and Skies before, or Pred and Kenny before the major. They ended up only dropping one of the two and making the second change after. But, like, if they didn't make a serious run at the major, it was inevitable that something had to change, which is, and as good as Pred is as a player, like, you can't deny the correlation between when he came back and them starting to get slammed, even if it's not entirely his fault. So it shouldn't be a massive surprise. Obviously, this whole situation just proves beyond any doubt Shotzzy's the warlord, Shotzzy's the man in charge, Shotzzy's the guy who is going to make all the decisions. That's always how it's going to be. Not all the decisions, but, like, they ain't never getting rid of Shotzzy. There's no way that's the case. As much as a lot of the fans didn't think that Pred should have been dropped, I think this is a bit of an inevitability. So, yeah, we'll start it there, Trey.
I mean, there's not much else to really say in that. I've been saying it. Listen, I'm not saying Pred's the reason they went 0 and 18 map count or whatever they went. I'm not saying that. But they had Hugh. They finished first in the standings. They get Pred back. Something ain't right when they get him back. I can tell. Something ain't right. As a pro player, Donnie can tell you too.
Kenny looks like he did not want to be there, bro.
Listen, as a pro player who's been through teams that don't look like they want to be there, being a person that's gone, fuck, man, I don't even want to be here even if we win. Something happened where Pred came back and they just didn't want to play with each other. They showed in their gameplay, it showed in the player cams, everything like that. No, I'm not saying they fucking hate each other IRL. In game, something just went right. Like I said, I heard prior that apparently, we heard prior, Rab, you know, when the roster change was happening, that apparently Pred wasn't even going to be playing at Major 2 either. Apparently it was supposed to be a 2-man change before the major. And, you know, he had a good series against LAG, and that's what kind of like, you know, we'll let him play. You know, he fried, like, you know, something to that, pick up seats or whatever. Coming back, they didn't win the event. They won a match versus a broken Rokkr. Someone has to go. It ain't Caesar because he's been picked up. It's never going to be Dashy because Rambo's not the coach anymore. It ain't Shotzzy. You ain't getting rid of Shotzzy. There's only one person it could be. It's got to be Pred. Now, you know, personally, I think if I'm Pred right now, I'm not even angry. I think the opportunity that he has now is by far, like, insane. I think he should be happy where he's at right now. I would be anyway. And maybe he felt a little bit hard done by because he wasn't the worst player, but we know how it is, how it works in COD. Even if you're not the worst player, you can still get dropped. It's just how it is.
Right.
Does Pred think he's better than Hugh? Yeah, by far he does. You know, he just won champs. You know, do we think he's better than Hugh? It's all player-based, whatever like that. I think Pred's amazing. But like you said, you can't be shocked that it happened. Maybe I'd be a little bit annoyed if, I'm watching my old teammate just go, yeah, it's just business. But at the end of the day, it is just business. Like it really is just business. There's no hatred towards it. You guys didn't win a map for how long? That's just how it works. Like, unfortunately, this was just your time to go.
I mean, piggyback off of what you said. I mean, I feel like this has been like so deep dived so many times. It's like a lot of this stuff, in my opinion, could be avoided in Call of Duty if we were just more straight up. Now, some people they don't like being straight up, and it hurts their feelings. But to me, going like the Call of Duty culture is do roster changes behind people's back, which I just feel like I mean it's never gonna change. It's been like that since literally the beginning of Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's sometimes where I've tried to like been upfront with it, and it's like kind of gone either way, like good or bad. But I feel like if you are upfront with a roster change, it helps you. It may mess up your team's performance, so that's what people prioritize. They try to do it sneakily, like how Rab said. I don't know how AG didn't see it, because probably the team just tried to act like, oh yeah, everything's fine, but like so they try to do it secretly to try to maintain performance. But I try to maintain a relationship sometimes and like at least express how I'm feeling. Like when I didn't like how Trey was playing, I was telling Trey like, bro, what the hell is going on? Like this shit is I don't like that. Like, are
you an MVP or are you a bitch?
Yeah, I literally said Trey, like, yeah, I said something like that. Like, are you an MVP? Like, you're an MVP AR. Like, how the fuck you don't know where to look? Like, now obviously that's very aggressive. You probably don't need to do it that extreme, which I definitely like cut back on that towards the end of my career, especially with new young players. That's not the best way. But I won champs with you. Like, at that point, in my eyes, even if we somehow, like, as long as you don't try to fuck my girl or something, like, we are connected for life. You know what I'm saying? We won champs. You can tell me, yo, you got a 0.3 twin. Like, we won champs, bro. It's time. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? Good run. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would be perfectly fine in that situation. Like, or, yo, I got a point. Shotzi's been having matches with 0.7s. Yo, AG, you're fucking me over on the map. I'm not trying to get shit on. I feel like we have a better chance without you. Let me get somebody else. Like, I just feel like the sneakiness stuff leaves people bitter. And I'm not saying like that's what happened in this situation. I just feel like that's me witnessing like all the roster changes and being part of roster changes. Like, oh, what did he say about me? Oh, do you know how such and such is feeling? Like there's so much sneakiness like around it. Whereas like your teammates, just tell your teammates how you feel. Like we're grown. We're now like 20. I'm 25. Like Dashy's older than me. Like those people, we're all the same age. 23, 25. Is that not the same age? Like that's all the same age. Like we can be straight up with each other and like tell each other how we feel. And I just feel like that will maintain and like relieve like the bitterness feeling like afterwards, you know? Because now like when you do it sneakily, you're like, this motherfucker went behind my back, da 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 da. And you don't forget that.
Motherfuckers get top 6 in an event. They're like, yeah, we'll see you back for scrims. Next thing you know, the guy's gone home.
Now he's on the phone. Yo, good try this event. 2 hours later, I'm on the phone. Yo, this motherfucker costing me, bro. Like, I need a new player. Like, yeah. I just feel like that would be much better to maintain friendships in Call of Duty. So,
I think that's probably like the best thing around it is like, even when I got dropped, I knew it was happening just from like, you guys weren't like when me and you were talking, Don. It was never like, don't worry about it, Trey. Like you good. It was not. It was like, bro, what the fuck's going on with you?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like younger me. I was like, bro, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, man. I think I'm doing all right. Like, what's going on there? But like, you just sense it. And like back then, I feel like in the moment you don't appreciate it when someone's actually that upfront with you until later on when you're like, damn, like, he was just trying to help me out, And then I get a phone call from Revan while everyone's in the background, and it's just like, yo, Trey, you're gone. And it's like, that's cool, And I feel like a lot of people need to appreciate the fact that you're not even being a dick. You're actually being a good friend.
I'm trying to let you know, bro, on Vegas, when we had Pro Loot, like, oh my God, like it was the most insane version of this. This is why I ride for Pro Loot now. And I think Pro Loot should be in the league. Like bro, Prolu, when we got top 6 first event, he carried us in search. He literally did all of our strats. Like, Byron was good as hell on our team. Like, that was my favorite version of our team, and we only had Prolu for 1.5, or we had him for Major 2 too, and then they wanted to get rid of him. But it was like a visible downward spiral. I'm like, Byron, like, you need to just show up on time. Like, when I didn't care that he didn't show up on time, but like McGee and Clay, like, that would really piss them off. I'm like, bro, just do. Like, I tried everything. I'll be out loud, like, just do this and you won't get dropped. Like, I would just tell him that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and then he just was like, fuck this shit. Basically, he basically like kind of got himself dropped. Like, he could have easily like avoided it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have easily, if he put his best effort, Prolu would have stayed on our team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was literally trying my hardest to just tell him, like, this is what such and such thinks about you. If you keep doing this, you're going to get dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that at least puts the player in a situation to either respond, like they're not gonna like it. They're gonna be like, damn, like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna get dropped. Or they can be like, all right, bet, this is all I have to do and I won't get dropped, bet. And then they take it in stride and they actually improve on the areas where the team doesn't want to, or the team doesn't like them in. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I mean, so it's interesting segue then to this whole like Pred's changing roles thing, right? Because this is a big, like, I definitely have my thoughts on this. Because AG was pretty clear on stream the other day that they discussed the idea of a role change. Apparently, Shotzi said that Kenny was open to it. I mean, look, we were talking about this for months. We were like, look, OpTic are trash. They've got to try something. Why not try Pred and Kenny switching it around? Because it's not like Kenny wasn't, or it's not like Pred wasn't running the MCW sometimes last year to good effect. Like, the guy can use an AR. He just prefers running the second sub. Okay, fair enough. You prefer running the second sub. Kenny apparently was down to switch. And Pred said that he wasn't. He said, look, he's been a top SMG in the last few games. Why would I change? And then he said, oh, we're getting Skies in, so then he can swap with Kenny, and therefore I can keep running the sub and all this. But I think, like, reading between the lines, this was... Karma seemed pretty annoyed when he talked about it, that maybe Pred wasn't, like, open to the idea. And it's like what you're saying, Don. If, like, let's say someone went to Pred and was like, look, AG, we've got to try this role change, or if it don't work out, you're going to have to go, because what else are we going to try?
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't happen. And then he gets dropped and he's like, shocked Pikachu face. It's like, well, hang on a second. He even tried a role change, which maybe could have saved the team. You never know. So,
Yep.
like, I'm just a little bit confused why Pred wasn't open to this, because, like, look, I get maybe that's not what he wants to do, but it was probably the only way to try and save the team. Obviously, it's probably still going to work out for Pred in some sense. So it almost makes me feel like this was part of Pred's plan. But I don't know. I can't fully believe that. So I don't know what you think about it, Don.
I actually spoke to AG a little bit about this. I said the same thing. Like, I'm like, if you want to try to salvage your shit, you got to try it. And then he's just like, no. And I completely respect that. I think I'm like, all right, bet. That's hard. Like, you are that confident in your ability as a sub, which you should be. If I achieved everything that AG did, like, AG Rookie of the Year, he won the first event, his first year MVP. Like, he is a superstar player, bro. Like, we have to remember this game has only been out, or we only played, what, 2 majors? Take these 2 majors out. AG, bro, I was there the offseason. Every person is walking up to AG trying to pick him up on their team, bro. Like, yeah, we're not gonna rewrite history, bro. Like, that's what people try to do. Like, I don't give a damn if he got caught in a couple clips kill whoring or whatever. Also, on the kill whoring standpoint, if you kill horn, you drop a 40 every game, that shit does not matter. That's actually perfectly fine. Isn't that what, like, Hydra is technically a kill whore, but he drops 40 every game, so he's godlike. Like, I don't give a damn if AG's getting caught in clips and going the wrong ways, but you're on a broken, collapsed team. So I don't even judge his gameplay off a broken, collapsed team. When you're on a broken, collapsed team, everything you do is kind of fake. It's kind of fake. Like, when you're on a broken, collapsed team, there's no trust. Everyone's gonna play worse. Like, wouldn't you, Trey, as a pro player, don't you feel like it is easier to play good when everyone's playing good? You can play good with your fucking eyes closed. Like,
yeah, because it's already, like, the map's like closed off for you. Like,
the map's so easy. The map's so easy. So I don't judge AG. People are like AG sucks. Everyone keeps saying they suck at this game. This player, people are saying Shotzi sucks at this game. Don't judge these players off of fucking 2 events, bro. Like
On a broken
AG
team.
is on a broken team. AG is a superstar player, bro. I remember everybody he had offers from this team, that team, this team, that team. Like this guy is an MVP caliber player. Like I guarantee he'll look by far the best player on the Falcons or whatever team he's on. The Falcons, right? Whatever team he's on, he's gonna play good. I promise you.
I mean, listen, my point, and I agree with Don as well, as like in terms of standing 10 toes on you being like the best in your position, best in your role. The only thing I didn't agree with is the shit's already chalked. Like, you know, as a team, let's try and find a way how we can try and salvage it. And like he just cut it off. That's the only thing where I'm just like, well, it just sounds to me like they were trying to work it out as a team, but he shut it down, which is cool. Like I said, Don, like, you know, everything you just listed is like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But then don't be surprised when he get dropped, you know.
But to me as a team, like I'm saying, like to me as like someone who's like, right, listen, I want to try and make this work. I've tried doing that on every roster possible.
I see what you're saying.
I'll try doing that on every roster possible. You know, I'm gonna see if it works. If I don't feel comfortable, if I try it for like a few days and I don't feel comfortable, nah, fuck it, we ain't doing that. I'm not doing it. My thing was at least give it a go to try and salvage a team, because everyone wants you to succeed. You've just won champs. Everyone wants you to succeed. The champs, your teammates, everyone wants to see it work out. And you know, I think it's probably a little bit disheartening to his teammates that he said like no straight up. But I understand why he did as well. I'm not saying I'm playing both sides because I understand both sides. But me as a team player, it would just be a little bit disheartening in terms of, you know, can we try this out? No, all right, bet. Don't worry about it.
See, your mindset is very good, and it's probably the best mindset. But you also got to look at it like, bro, there's a certain breed of COD players that have ran both roles. Like the people who have literally only ran one role, they should not, like, that's just how they think. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
sure.
you got to look at it like, imagine Insight running a fucking sub. Like that would just sound like you're on fucking cocaine. Like that wouldn't even make sense.
No,
like,
I mean, listen, it happened to me in World War II. That's probably why I'm like so like my opinion.
You had to run a sub, and then you ran a sub, and you were actually a good ass sub.
Rated,
and you're like, wow, this shit's not that hard. Like,
you want to know why though, Don? Because Rated said to me straight up, he goes, Trey, your ass on the AR. If you're ass on the sub, we're dropping you.
Okay,
there you go.
That's
be straight
shit.
Up, huh?
That's real. That's fire.
And I said, yo, Joe, is he being serious? He goes, I don't fucking know, but I'm gonna assume so. So you best start frying. Guess what? I start talking.
That's good. That's what I'm saying. That's fire. I fuck with that.
You know, but like I said, like I feel like no one's wrong in this situation, and I respect AG for standing 10 toes on it because he is a superstar player. He's MVP. He's done this, done that. So I do respect it in that aspect. Maybe his teammates didn't respect it in terms of like he just shut it down. You know, that's the only thing I can see.
I think for AG, it's interesting where the next steps are, because he said quite a lot, like in this stream that he did, about how like he's satisfied with what he achieved on OpTic. He went to OpTic with the intention to win champs, to win events. That's what he done. He turned up, he won a couple of events, he won champs. He's now got a couple of chips in the back pocket. He's got his world championship ring, and I feel like Pred's going to be like. I'm not saying Pred doesn't want to win, but I think Pred's in a position, given his mindset and what he's achieved so far, like I wouldn't say he's accomplished everything he wants to achieve, but if Falcons come knocking on the door and they say, hey, look, you can be the star player of our team, we'll pay you a bag, maybe you're not going to win as much as you would if you won OpTic as you did last year, that might be an acceptable trade-off for AG right now. He looks at what he's achieved. He's got his ring on the board. He's got a couple of chips, and now he can potentially be superstar, team leader, face of that team that ain't going anywhere for years to come. It makes a lot of sense. I think for a player like Pred, it makes a lot of sense, this Falcons thing, more so than many other players in the league. So hopefully it works out for him if it's true, because obviously we'll talk about now what their roster's going to be if the rumors are true that Falcons are picking up AG and then making the move. I mean, we heard about this Trey, I mean, what was it? Probably a good couple weeks before the major, at least a week before the major, that Falcons were probably going to blow it up. Not Fred specifically, but Falcons moving away from the Saudi
I called
thing.
it at the end of the year. This is what they would do. I said they were going to blow it up, but keep the best Saudi Arabian player they had, which is Eknid now. And build it around 3 American pros. The thing is right now they got very lucky with AG. They got very, very lucky. If AG's rumored to be on there, listen, AG solidified there for the rest of his life. That guy's locked into the Falcons. He's throwing up the birds. Which, like I said it last week. This is the perfect opportunity for AG. He can have a superstar roster. Money ain't an issue. You ain't got to take a pay cut to get Kenny. You know, you ain't got to take a pay cut to pick any player up. You are on the best org possible in terms of facilitating what you need. I do have a thing about it though. You know, the rumored roster was supposed to be Xnid, Pred, RCEs, and ProLoot. A few days ago, I got told from a very good source of mine, ProLoot isn't on the roster anymore. And the reason being is upper management blocked it. Now I know the reason why, but I'm not gonna say it because I've been asked not to say it. But just know upper management blocked it, and that's why you now see Priestahh coming onto the lineup, which everyone's shocked with. Now, do I see this Falcons roster winning an event? No. Do I see them winning a series? Yeah, they're gonna win a series. They're gonna win a series. Yeah, they're gonna win a series, and let me tell you, that's gonna be generational. It's going to be generational because, you know, right now they've got no wins. You know, maybe that's what the fucked up thing on the COD League website was for, rap, because they predicted.
Oh, maybe true. They predicted 30 points for the Falcons, and then they copied and pasted our site to get it right. All good.
No. Listen. ProLoot being on the roster is literally only being blocked by upper management, from what I've been told. Like nothing else with the players. The players would have played and whatever. Like, apparently, it just got blocked. That's it. Now they got Priestahh.
Yeah, I mean, I have thoughts on this too, but you didn't want to say anything. I feel like I know a little bit too, so
if you want to say it, you can because it's coming from you. I just don't want to say. I just don't want to say it from my. I just want to say.
I can't. I already got in trouble for. I already had to apologize to Ken and Brandon in my last time on the podcast. So I'll start leaking stuff eventually, but let me try to chill. I'll just comment on my opinion on the roster is that, I mean, does Xnid have like good English? Like, does he have good English or not?
I've been told he does. Yeah,
I think it's good enough.
I think it's good enough. So that's good. Okay, so that's good. I feel like ProLoot would have helped this team a lot, especially when you're a bad team. Like I'm saying, like even my Vegas team that got top 6, I'm gonna classify us as a bad team. Like. The only way we won respawns is if I went crazy, like the first event. Like Clay was going 15 and 40. Tej didn't know how to play hardpoint until the end of the year. That's my duo. Shout out Tej. And then Byron is just obviously an S&D specialist. So we got top 6 by me just winning us one respawn, and then Byron and Tej just fucking S&D masterminds. Like that's like on a bad team. Like. You need to be good at search. You need to steal S&Ds. You need to do stuff like that. And I feel like Byron would have helped them a lot with that. I do think Priestahh, obviously he's a world champion. He's really good. But I don't know. I just don't see who's gonna be like making strat. Like is that on the coaches? Like I don't feel like who's gonna be calling plays in the moment in search. Like who's gonna be like you don't need like a strict IGL. Like obviously everyone can like call a play, you know, but like I just don't see this team like having like a good flow, like a good structure.
It just sounds to me like a nonchalant team. Like they're just.
It just seems like a Super 8 team. Like this just seems so random to me.
I don't really see the
like,
chem. Yeah.
Even though they have world champion, they have three. They have
actually. 4 rings.
I'm looking at it
on the team.
And 4 rings on the team.
7 including Clay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll fucking like actually be godlike somehow. I have no clue. Like, I do have respect for Alec. I even coached Alec a little bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Alec is really good. AG is obviously really good. Priest has been really good in the past. Like, it just seems random to me. Like, I just don't know how they're gonna play. But
I also have no idea. Like, Predator.
They're gonna win a series.
They're gonna win a series. They're gonna win a series for sure. I just don't know if they're actually be good. Like I feel like if this team got top 4 or top 6, that should be equivalent to them winning a tournament. Like when I got top 6 with 2Real, even though 2Real last year was gross. He should have been in the league. When I got top 6 with 2Real, MW2, I thought I won the event. Like that's how this team should be. Like if they get top 6, top 4, they should feel like they won. Especially because they're 0-14, you know, like they literally are like
any win's generational for him.
Yeah, they should feel like they won.
I mean, we've also got to talk about, Priestahh. He's not had the greatest of runs. He's not won a single LAN match since he won champs.
That is ridiculous.
That's a crazy stat. That's a crazy stat. Yeah.
Now, if we're talking last chances,
I mean, I thought LAG was the last chance. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, listen. If we're talking last chances, all he's got to do is, come out and fry. He's got no pressure. He's picked up on the Falcons. You've got no wins. There's no pressure on this team whatsoever.
Right.
Could only get better.
Let me tell you, it can't get fucking worse. That's for sure. Yeah, I love Preston. I fucking love him to pieces. This my boy right here. Same way like Donnie is Kenny boy, but listen, we got to be real about it because we're real. We're real to the fans. We're real to the friends, whatever like that. Listen, you got to start tucking. You got to start finding your flow again because you're a world champion. And you ain't playing like I said, no LAN win since you won champs. Like Don said, that's absurd. We got to lock in. Now, it's going to be quite funny if his first LAN win back is with the Falcons. Like if his first LAN match win back is with the Falcons. Like it would be poetic. But I'm not too sure what their matches are looking like for the upcoming. But like Don said, it's an 8s team. Is it going to be? It's like one of those teams where you just throw it together because there's not many players that are playing that night. Literally, like
it actually looks like that.
Yeah, like yo, we need one. You're scrambling around for players like late night. It's the last series of the night. You've played 7. You're looking for one. Like, and this is the fucking team that's happening.
It actually looks like that.
I fuck with the players on it though. Like I'm just saying.
I fuck with it. Yeah, I think they're all good.
In the aspect of like looking at it in the league, that it's not a great team. Are they going to win an event? No. They're going to win a series. Yeah, they've got something in them. Pred's going to have the fire to beat OpTic. Listen, if they beat OpTic, fucking tie me up and fucking call me fucking whatever you want because that would be fucking poetic. I would lock in for that. That show would be amazing.
I'll be there for that. And Pred will definitely have something he wants to prove as well. So their games are. They play Surge, Miami, OpTic, FaZe, Boston. That's their run this qualifier. And they also play Miami again next stage 2. So they've got 2 Miami series to get a win in. Surely that's doable.
Damn.
Next stage, though, they've got Cloud9. They've got Kenny's RØKKR. So that's going to be exciting to see Ken versus AG. And then Miami, and then it's Thieves FaZe. They play FaZe in back-to-back stints. They play Miami back-to-back stints. So not easy, but it could be worse.
They could find something.
It could be worse. They could find something. I mean, like Champs is
a couple maps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Champs is chalked as we know, but I guess what's interesting is where Falcons go from here because Pred ain't going anywhere for years. Like I just don't see it really happening unless whatever internal shit effective on OpTic happens again, which I guess is not impossible, but. Like, assuming that he's there and he's stable, he's going to be the face of the team. It makes too much sense. He's going to be calling the shots, I think.
Can I just add something real quick as well? I don't know why none of the orgs or players have complained publicly to the league, but how have they gone from 7 matches minor, 7 matches minor, to 5 matches no minor, 5 matches no minor? Like, how are we not got the same points every fucking major split? Are we trolling?
This is how it is. Unlucky.
How can one major you make like 30 more points than you can in another major, or like 50 more points or something like that? How is that even fair?
It makes no sense too because the game I feel like is more random at the start. So like you didn't even put one of the minors in the second half of the game. Like maybe 1 minor in the first half, 1 minor in the second half. Like they could have split it up. Like they literally could have split it up to at least like. Towards the game that's the champs race is like tighter, like it's more cutthroat. Like MW2, the champs race, like that shit was lit, bro. Like I don't know if you guys remember, like towards the end, like every single broadcast they're tracking my team's points, RØKKR's points, Boston's points. Like that makes the league matches even more intense. So like I feel like they definitely should have just split it up, like set it up better.
My
yeah, I
point
mean,
is,
the
it's
reality is it's to do with the scheduling of when they could run the majors and when
yeah,
they
but
can
that's
get
just
the
dumb.
stadiums.
It
it's-
is, but it's just dumb.
I know,
It's so dumb.
that's technically their reason for it, but could they do a better job of it? Absolutely. So
They just listen.
you know.
If they can't do it for the whole year, it's one of those situations. If you can't do it all the way year through, don't do it at all. There's no
It just
way.
leaves it unbalanced.
There's no way Major 1 and Major 4 should not be the exact same, especially because you have to win. You have to get points to go to champs. If every team went to champs, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, right.
But
And it used to always be 5 matches, but I think since it's become 7 is actually way better in many respects because you play 7 out of the 11 teams, which means that you play a good percentage of the opposition, so you should get a more balanced schedule, right? I think that's the point. Like when you play 5 out of 11, you can just get hoed or you can get blessed, like bad. Whereas with 7, you can still get hoed or blessed, but to a lesser extent, right? So nowadays we're looking at some of these teams to be like, damn, they've got
I mean,
the
look at
grueler.
LAG.
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
they just made a roster change. They're playing 4 of the best teams in the game.
Yeah, so exactly. Good luck.
I mean, like you know, that was my little tidbit. That was my little anger moment because if I'm a player that's fighting for champs and you can only make 50 points right now, when the last time motherfuckers are making like, you know, you could make
Yeah, 70 and then like 30 for winning the major.
You can make 100 for a split before you even go to the major, but now you can only make 50. Like I don't know, it just makes no sense.
No, I agree. Do you see Falcons ever dropping Exnid to Saracen? Because if not, there'll never be a super team with an Exnid Pred SMG duo. Yeah, I think we've got to touch on like what the hell that looks like, Exnid Pred sub duo, because I really have no idea how that's going to work. Probably not very well is my guess, but Kaysan is going to be tearing his hair out. But the one thing that I'd like to see is Kicks come back. I'm not saying like they should come back and have 2 of them, but if Kicks was available, it would be cool to see. Like if Kicks was available, they would have surely brought him back in instead of Priestahh. You know what I'm saying? They probably would have done that, but that doesn't seem to be there. I don't know if he's ever coming back. Would be a shame because obviously the kid had talent.
Coming back. I don't think Kicks is coming back. It's not like some insider thing. That's just.
If he ain't come back yet, then.
Listen, the guy's just got Pred in his team, and he's like, they've just got Pred there. That would be my go button. That'd be like, fuck, I ain't got to play with a body anymore. Like, I'm locked in. Get me with the Predator. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm just sat at home playing with the boys. Like, it's also like a respect level too, you know. My dogs are getting shit on, and I'm just going, nah, fuck it. I'm not feeling it. I'm like, I'm out.
Exit Kicks Pred Sib. I don't know about that. I think that actually is a segue though, right? So people say, AG, he should have gone to Cloud9. But, like, Don, what do you think about that? Because as far as I see it, I'm like, well, first of all, there were no rumors that he was ever going to Cloud9. So I don't even know if they're trying to get him on the team. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'd have my questions if I was signing AG. I just, you know, put it simple.
Yeah, I think that's why. I mean, I do think he could have maybe got to C9. I would have probably, if his best chance to win this season, I feel like he had a situation maybe to pick C9 or pick Falcons. And like Falcons, obviously, like C9 has a better chance to win this season, but like I still don't think, and he probably thought the same way, is that if he joins C9, he still is not confident in winning with that team. So he's like, let me just get the bag for this year, which I feel like him joining Falcons is much safer and consistent. Like
He's also guaranteed a spot next year.
Yeah, because bro, he's kind of, obviously it's not the same, but like it kind of is. When I was on Paris and Vanguard, whenever like your team hit me up in Boston, like the Guy was basically like, we're gonna keep you. You're automatically on our team next year. I know you're depressed because you're getting your ass beat and whooped every day, but you better just go out there and get your ass whooped and like hoop. Like that's literally what I was told, and that was direct because like, you know what I'm saying? I just was like, bro, I can't keep going 0-5. Like I'm literally just not even competing. But like at least he was like, bro, I'm telling you, we're gonna like try to like get you some better players next year. Like AG just has to go out there, get his bag, fucking have fun, try not to like be overwhelmed with losing, because especially y'all, I mean, they are 0-14. That's like the same as our pair shit. Like we were like 1-12 or some shit. Like just go out there, do your best. Don't be too stressed with winning or losing, and then next year they're gonna drop a bag and get you some fucking godlike players. It's just way safer. It's just way safer instead of like forcing like C9 and then damn, I just chalked up this bag and then we didn't even win. Like what the hell? Like it's just a much safer option.
Plus it makes it the relationship between Pred and the Falcons like way better. That he's just come off OpTic. He knows he's not making champs. He knows he's joining a team that
Right.
If I'm Falcons, I'm like, bro, we've got a real guy that's buying into the project right now, regardless how much money we're throwing him. We got a guy that wants to buy into the project, and then next year, guess what? A couple players, let's say a couple players are out of contract. Guess where they're going? I think Falcons is gonna have a crazy team next year. Crazy.
Yeah, they'll have a good team. They'll have a good team next year for sure.
I mean, also people I want to get the point across at how well the Falcons treat their players, right? Because they've got a facility where the NVHQ, the OpTic HQ used to be, and the rent there, it ain't cheap, right? Like, I don't really know how much the Falcons guys are getting paid. Obviously, you'd expect they're getting paid a bag. I don't really know if they are. I know that Priestahh, I imagine, probably is, having joined the team, which we think is going to get confirmed very soon. But they have some prime real estate. They've got all that space for the players. Am I wrong in saying, Trade, that they've got a chef that cooks some food?
That's what A said last week.
That's what I'm saying. So
it would also make a lot of sense as well, because they would need particular food too.
Yeah, it's gotta be halal. Obviously with Ramadan.
Listen, if I'm them, I'm not coming over and eating Popeyes, bro. Like, bro, that shit ruins your stomach. They need that, bro. Bro, we went over there, Rab. The food is so clean.
Oh my god, yeah.
Bro, one Chick-fil-A for them. Oh my days, they're exploding.
Yeah, I felt it myself and McGregor felt it. We came to Texas, like the food in Texas hella tasty, but I mean, man, it eats you alive.
I had a relationship for a week and a half with my fucking toilet, bro. Like, it was fucking absurd. No matter what I ate, chicken and rice, boom.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Falcons, they don't mess around, and also if you're AG. Yeah, you're probably not making it to champs. They need at least 100 points to get there. They can win all their qualifiers and they won't make champs. On current trajectory, they need to seriously turn up at the major. It's not impossible, but realistically ain't going to happen. But the World Cup's around the corner. AG will turn up there. Absolute superstar, right? World champion on Falcons. Falcons are going to go ahead. They're going to win the Club World Cup again, I'm sure, because they enter every esport. No other team does that. So there's probably some sort of bonus in play for that. It's like, for Pred and for Falcons, it's probably great timing on some level. Because Falcons were going to blow it up after this event anyway. Pred happens to be available. He's a perfect front man for the team. It all kind of makes sense. And what it means for the future, obviously, is a question too, with the, with the amount of money they could be throwing around if they want to do that next year. And obviously, that's they've started doing it now.
Speaking of EWC, there's that roster lock that came up for it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Should I bring that up real quick?
What was it? May?
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I think it's middle of May. I think it was the same thing last year, but I may be wrong.
I think they're actually sticking to it this time, though.
Yeah, I think it's like 14th of May. Yeah, here we go. I got the tweet. So, roster lock for the Club Championship EWC is the 15th of May, a week before Major 4. The Falcons are the reigning champions. So, because I think last year, there was a roster lock for EWC around about a similar time, but obviously Ravens didn't make it to champs, and then they changed. They brought in Beans, and other teams did similar stuff. This time it seems like whatever your roster is for Major 4 will have to be your champs team, which is especially interesting for the teams that don't make it to champs, right? Because last year it was a little bit cheese like that. Teams blew it up before champs, around about champs. They had 6-8 weeks of practice with a new team for the World Cup.
And then maybe got bopped out at champs, couldn't make a fucking
exactly, yeah. And then the teams that lost champs couldn't make a change. So, yeah, I mean, if you bring someone on your sub bench, you could always make a change. There's always that. But it is...
that's a good point.
It is interesting. But, so you could sign a sub before this date, and then if you needed to do something,
but then you got to realize, oh shit, who the fuck are they? Oh, it's me, innit? I'm gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not playing EWC shit. Like, they've signed the sub player. It's either me or the other guy.
Because at first when you were saying that, I'm like, I don't like that. But then with the sub, like at least maybe that will force teams to have more people on their roster. So maybe it could be a good and a bad thing. We'll see. That's actually I didn't know about that. I didn't see that. So
Yeah.
I guess the point is
That's
this is around
interesting.
like the club championship, right? So I guess it's because again, EWC is a bit different. Like they'll invite all the pro teams again, but they're not all of them will be part of like the actual club championship competition. So I guess to compete in that and have your points be eligible for that, you need your roster to be locked by a certain date, but it may not be relevant for all the teams. But like this is the reason why lots of these like G2 invested a bit more money recently into the RØKKR to try and keep the whole situation alive. Part of it is because the relationship with the World Cup makes it viable for the teams to continue to do so. So this is like it's just a big event for like all of the teams, and especially the Falcons. But the money ain't an issue for them.
Nah, they just print that shit. I'm trying seeing if they got any job opportunities lined up.
Falcons spread, baby. Yeah, have a chat with our boy.
Okay.
Have a chat with our boy again, Trey.
You reckon they'd invest?
What, in the show?
Yeah.
Thinking a little like Falcons logo at the top. Little public investment fund logo at the bottom right.
Look, I mean, fuck it. They ain't gonna see it leave the account.
Yeah, we got to think maybe we could get a little studio set up then. A little studio at the residences. Maybe
I'm thinking we just move out there.
That's what I'm saying. Little suite at the Fairmont. I don't know, man.
Me, you done. Me, you done.
Yeah.
To a Falcons content team, I'm already here. I'm already in Texas. They don't even got to pay me nothing. I just show up.
Nah, don't say that. Don't say that. They got the money.
They gotta pay y'all. I'm just saying.
Hell nah, Don. We don't say that.
We don't say we don't need the money.
No, Don, we're for the love of the game, but we need to get paid. We need to get paid.
Okay, I'm tweaking. That's on me.
You're a good man. You need paying. We don't do it for free.
Hell yeah. All right, the final thing, like obviously we'll wait some of these things happen in the background maybe, but I wanted to get into a bit of drama yesterday on this expansion topic. I saw you gave your thoughts on this as well, Don. Got that tweet pulled up.
Okay, good.
But Envoy was talking about a couple of things. I think it's a controversial one, this. He's mentioned an expansion. Obviously, it's relevant for the World Cup too, because the World Cup, there's going to be the 12 pro teams. There's going to be the 4 challenger teams there out in force. We'll see how it goes. The winner of the Challengers Champs, or not Challengers Champs, but the winner of Challengers at Major 4 and DreamHack, they qualify automatically, which is a pretty big deal. But obviously the league hasn't been the same over the last few years. I mean, I think what I find interesting about this is that like year 1 of the league, Trey, there was lots of talk about, damn, only 12 teams, like we need 16, there's so much talent. And back then it was 5v5. Now it's only 4v4. So there's fewer players around anyway. But now the talk is, like, if I'm Envoy, I get it. I'm an established player in the league. I don't like playing shit teams all the time. What's the point? Understandable. But equally, people are saying, well, look, if you don't have expansion opportunities, then where's the opportunity for players to develop, right?
Listen, my issue about this is back in the day it was fire, you know what I'm saying? But I've always used this as an example. Open bracket teams, for example, they play the open bracket, they come into the like group play, they just get bopped out. That was just the standard. Now, you see, the only thing about it now is what's kind of weird is that we have this franchising model where it was like gate kept, where you had to spend 27.5 mil to get into the league or more, depending on your location. But now it's just gone. There's no buy-in. So where the hell is the gatekeepiness going in? Like, we've got these great orgs and challengers like Omit, for example, who is, in my opinion, the front runner to be in the CDO, or hopefully when the CDO, like if it ever transpires into something else, like Omit get an opportunity to get a big investor so they can actually fucking field a good roster or something like that, or just so they get some support, because they're the only team or the only organization in challenges that I feel really do deserve it. Especially Rafi, the way he moves, the way he works and stuff like that.
He deserves it 100%.
Also, I don't know why you wouldn't want expansion. Yeah, there's a few bad teams. Why not make it a few more bad teams? Get your KD up, get another pay rise next year. Fuck it. Like, what is the actual like? What isn't the benefit to that? You know what? An extra 4 teams. Yeah, it's cool. Whatever, like that. Get your KD up. Let 4 other people. Let 16 other people eat too. It's all cool. And there's if 4 other teams joined the league, does Envoy get better or worse? Nothing happens.
Yeah,
he stays the exact same. He plays another 4 teams. Those 4 teams could beat another 4 teams. He's still one of the best. Looks way better on the map. KD goes up. Yo, Nade, listen, I've dropped the 1.1 this year. I need a little pay rise. No, there's actually no negative to more teams joining the league apart from, there may be some worse teams, but there's no negative to it.
They'd have to redo the format to some degree, which I would absolutely embrace, because you wouldn't be able to just, you know what I mean? There'd be more games. They'd have to do it in a different way, but like, might have to do Alpha and Bravo stream. It's like sensational. Bring me back, I see you tweet, Don. Here's the Don tweet.
Yeah. I was waiting for y'all to go because I can yap about this.
There are 4 new teams. At least 2 are being contention for making champs. Maybe to the top of the league. That does not feel impactful, but anything can happen at champs. Players need the opportunity. I think the thing I'll say before I pass you, Don, is like, I remember back in World War II when there were 16 teams. There were basically 2 bad teams. Like there was Epsilon and Vitality. Both of them teams were pretty ass. The rest of the teams were at least, in both stages it was the same thing. I think Tainted Minds were in their one stage, Vitality were in there the next stage.
And like Mindfreak.
Yeah, Mindfreak, like, Vitality were like Xerox and Mauls and Whalers and that team. So they weren't great. The Epsilon team that year wasn't great either. But out of 16 teams, there were basically 2 teams that weren't great. And the names that I've just mentioned that are in the league back then, people aren't going to look back at those names and think like, damn, those guys were shooters, right? But the other 14 teams were either very good, pretty good, or respectable. And I feel like it's the same way with whatever league you form. Like right now we have a 12-team league, but one of the teams in Falcons is just cooked, and Gentlemates are completely cooked because their team composition is terrible. And OpTic were chalked for a while as well. So you have a 12-team league, there's always going to be like 2 teams that are shitting the bed for whatever reason, not even from a talent perspective. If you expand the league to 16, there's still probably only going to be like 2 teams that are shitting the bed for similar reasons. Like you will bring other teams in that have maybe not the most talent, but they're competent teams, and they're going to put up a fight. So that's my opinion. Like it's not like the quality of the league drastically decreases if you increase the number of players.
Yeah, I agree with you. So before I start kind of yapping, okay, who is in 8th place? I don't care how many points they have, or what is their record? Like who is in 7th, 8th, and 9th, and like what are their actual records?
Now?
Yeah. In the CDL.
Boston are in 7th. They're 110 points, 9 in 12. Miami are in 8th. Miami are somehow 7 in 15 at 100 points because they just won a load at the major.
Got third.
They got third at the
Miami
major, but outside of that,
they've
been frauds. And Cloud9 are at 95, they're 9 in 14. And RØKKR at 10th, they're 9 in 14.
So 9 and 12, 7 and 15, they're all negative, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the stream right now. You don't think that Standy, Lynnz, Brack, and Spark can go 7 and 15? Because I do. I personally think maybe they wouldn't have got top. They can't get top 3 at a major, but they can go 7 and 15. That's not like, and they're in 8th place. Like, and then once you get the champs, Spark fucking starts going crazy randomly. He pulls out some weapon he fucking been hiding his whole career for the whole year, and then he upsets the #1 seed. He beat FaZe and FaZe. Like, I'm just saying. And then like another point is, I'm gonna talk about Envoy in a second. Another point is, Trey, like, yes, I do agree. Most pool play teams or AM teams that get in the pool play, they get bumped out. And even at the one pro am, Scrappy's team was the best AM team, but we beat them in the series, and then they only had to beat us in one map, and they would have made the bracket. Like if they lost to us 2-3, they would have made it. We beat them 3-1, so it was close. Like
it's very subjective to like when back then in the time period is.
Yeah, but that was CDL. That was CDL. That was in Vanguard. So I'm saying a program in Vanguard. That's an opportunity where this is the same structure. They would have made pro level if they just literally won one more map. They went 2-1 and they didn't make it out. They went 2-1. They beat a pro team. They beat Boston. They beat Boston and LAG and then lost to my fucking Paris team to miss out. If they just beat us in one more map, they could have lost the series. We had to beat them 3-1 or 3-0 to make it out, and we did, luckily. But that would have been their shot right there. That would have been another team that, like, the Stunner, the TR, that, like, an AM team that could make a fucking grand finals run while being amateurs. You know what I'm saying? So it is possible to, like, make a run. And third off, this is my third point. I'm giving Envoy a pass because Envoy, world champion, great player, right? But at the same time, because even when I was in the league, when you're at the top of the league for so long, you kind of like forget about your come up and challengers and all that stuff because they're not a threat to you. Like, Envoy doesn't need to watch Spart and Capsido go against each other in the finals because he's never finna, like, the odds of him playing against them are like 2%. Like, who care? He doesn't even care about that. So what he said, it was just kind of like egotistical, but I feel like he has a right to have that ego because he's Envoy. He's been he's been playing great, and he's a great winner in the league. But he also needs to remember his start, bro. His start, he was that guy, bro. He was the AM. Like, when I was a pro, I was the guy at the top of the league getting top 3, top 2. Like, my rookie year, as a rookie, me and Hook and Tej were the best rookies. Envoy was also a rookie, and Kenny, they were a top 16, top 12 AM team, and they got like top 6 one time. And Envoy, Spacely's my homie. Spacely's talking shit about Envoy. Dude, this kid Envoy, bro, he has a 0.4, 0.5. All he does is sprint to the uplink ball. Like, it's not like you came out the gates and you were just fucking the Envoy you are today. You obviously had time and multiple opportunities to become the Envoy you are today. But off the rip, bro, you were a 0.8 SMG player getting top 12 with Spacely, Kenny, Adam Assault. Like, I was there for that. Like, I have vivid memory of that because AW is one of my favorite games. I remember, like, damn near every match I played, I was playing against them and 3-0ing them in 30 minutes with my team. So, like, he had to become that. Then he had the whole keyboard. We were underage, so we couldn't play. He was keyboarding in Black Ops 3. He was literally keyboarding. Like, now you're a world champion, but, like, you got to remember, you was getting slammed. You was a keyboarder. You know what I'm saying? You came back in World War II. You had no team opportunities. Someone posted a tweet. You got top 60 and top 80 or something.
Yeah, it was
which is, I don't care. Who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's AM bracket, whatever. But, like, that is after someone says, oh, he didn't have any opportunities. Bro, he was already went pro at 15. Envoy went pro. I don't know how old he is, but he went pro the same year me, Tej, Kenny, and Kyler went pro. So he went pro. People knew who he was, but he was a keyboarder. And then he came back and got top 80, and then eventually in BO4 he got godlike. But think about how long of a span that is. That's fucking AW, BO3, IW, World War II. He played all of World War II, and then BO4 he was obviously godlike on Gen G, and became the Envoy he is today. But I'm just saying, that's a long time, bro. That is a long time to play against pros. Like, these AMs don't even get to play against pros. If you get to play against pros for 5 fucking years, you'll probably pick up some things. You'll be able to pick up, oh, this pro likes to do this. Oh, this is what I need to do on the map, because you're playing against better competition. So add these 4 more teams. You don't think some of these players are going to evolve like you did? They will. They will evolve. They will evolve. Now, as an AM, you just got to get thrown into the league and lock it the fuck in, or you're dog shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, which is unfair because you had multiple years to do good, multiple years to lock in.
Kids like Joe Deceives like remind me of a similar convo, right? Because Joe was pretty lucky. Not lucky, he obviously earned it, right? But he was known from ranked. He came up in ranked. People said he was dog shit. They picked him up. He was a bit up and down. He looked okay on Guerrillas, but it weren't great. And now he's looking at one of the top 3 SMGs in the world. The guy is absolutely on fire, and it shouldn't be no surprise. Like, he comes in, give him 2 years in the league, gets better and better, keeps playing pros, gets better opportunities, and now Joe Deceives looking like a guy that if you're a real top team and you need to blow it up in the off season, you might be knocking on the door. But go on, Trey.
Yes, he is an impact on winning. And before Trey go, I'm sorry, Trey, because I'm passionate about this.
This is good.
Shout out to Slayer, because someone in the chat, he got top. I didn't even know that he got top 40 in BO4. Like the game he was godlike. He was godlike at BO4 and got top 40. Like, damn.
Yeah, first
Go ahead,
event
bro.
on
I'm
that
sorry,
midnight
man.
team with, I mean, wow, what a team that is. Charles, Godforms, Performer, and Remedy. And then they changed the team for the Llama, God Parzelion, Bracken, Jet Li team that qualified for the Pro League. Wonder what those guys are up to today.
I got a few points as well. Like, you know, I seen a lot of people talk about it, especially Solo. You know, she be posting a lot of stuff.
She be tweeting a lot.
She be tweeting a lot. She passionate about it. I fought with it, but you know, she talking about the relegation system. Listen, we're in a franchise sport now. There's no relegation system where like this thing happens. Like this isn't like football, where you know the championship come up to the Premier League. It's very gate kept, and low key, I feel like a lot of the pros are trying to gatekeep it too. As that's why you hear a lot of opinions on, nah, no expansion, that would suck. Like Don said, there's players that are in challenges that are people are looking to pick up into the pro team, but guess what? They get thrown onto a shit team. That's why they get picked up. There's no practice matches or anything like that. You're getting picked up to try and make champs on a goddamn fucking broken roster. How are you supposed to perform like crazy? Like there's obviously some exceptions. Neptune coming in, exception. But that's not going to happen for every single challenger player that comes up. Look at Lunas, for example, joins a team that's got like, what, 1 win, 2 wins? Guess what? They've only got 3 wins. What do you want him to do about it? Oh, he hasn't made champs. Was Luna the issue? Nah, but a lot of pros are going to be like, oh, he came from the AM scene. He didn't make an impact. He's ass. Like, that's what a lot of pros will say.
Yeah.
The thing about it is I don't know why we're so against expansion. If there's 4 shit teams, guess what? We've already got 4 shit teams.
Right.
There's 4 teams that don't make it to champs, so why would you not give it the possibility of them fighting for it? And like Donnie said, anything can happen at champs. My FaZe team, for example, one of the best respawn teams in the game on Black Ops 4, guess what? We got bopped out by Reciprocity. Guess why? That's champs for you. That's just, you know, things change. It's COD. Day to day is different. You know, one day you wake, and especially in the CDL era right now, you play a game on a Thursday in winners bracket. You don't play again until Saturday. Like, do you know how crazy that is? I just don't get the whole hate for expansion, or like, nah, these amateur players suck ass. Well, yeah, obviously, because motherfuckers don't get to play you guys. They don't get to scrim you guys. And when they do scrim you, they learn things. But if they scrims you day in, day out, like the pros scrim each other, motherfucker, pros play AMS and S&D, and they learn shit from AMS and S&D. That's how it works. The issue is we're in a very gate-kept esport right now where expansion doesn't want to happen. The league doesn't want expansion to happen. There's been talks about it for years. I've heard rumors that we've got teams, multiple organizations that want to join. And now with the fact that there's no buy-in, it makes no sense why there's not an expansion around the corner, like at all. We could have TSM, we could have Liquid, we could have, you know, Space Station. We could have all these great orgs in there that are way better than some of these orgs that are in there right now. Take Ravens, for example. Won't pay 10, 15K or whatever it is to get Kenny. Now their team's fucking chalked when they're 4th in the standings. Like, we've got a lot of shitty orgs in this league. And you guys are, and some people are still saying no for expansion. It's fucking mind blowing. Not even talking about the players that can come up and, like, you know, at least make champs for against the other bottom 4 teams. We're talking about actual good organizations that would make COD look actually good from the outside. But you got me, you've got Zumi, you got a bunch of people slandering some of these orgs because they're very poorly ran. And you guys don't want expansion. Make it make sense.
That's the frustrating thing. There's some orgs. I mean, obviously, Dom's been there. You've been there, Trey. Some of these poverty orgs, they still here. So, like, before you expand, you might want to say, okay, couldn't all come in and say, all right, we're gonna get these guys spot, get that guy's spot. I don't know. It's just what I find frustrating mainly is the state of challenges full stop. And how it just feels like we've gone back such a long way. And I understand that, like, the game has changed, the scene has changed. S&D scene was probably never, like, the S&D scene when we went to PC and obviously with game battles shutting down and with things changing behind the scenes, it was probably never going to be the same as what it was in, like, BO3, World War II. Like, inevitably the S&D scene was probably not going to be what it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that things had to change as much as they have done. It like since the CDL's come around, so we've not only wasted 5 years, but I think we've also regressed 5 years in many respects in terms of where we are as a scene. And I don't know if the league is just asleep at the wheel. Maybe it's not the league itself. It's maybe more like the decision makers at Activision that decide where the money goes. But the fact that challenges is 18 plus and you can't play in challenges if you're like 16 is a joke. That's like the number one thing I'd look to change. Because if I'm a kid who's got talent, look, I still think there's enough talent out there to expand, but you want the growth in the scene to come consistently and have names like Simp, like Hydra, like Pred, like Scrappy, who are making noise in the S&D scene. And if the S&D scene don't really exist anymore, then challenges is the way to do it. And right now, the limit's 18. So if I'm a kid who's 15 years old, like Simp was when he was playing BO3 Chals and cracked out of his mind, I'm going to play some other game. God forbid you'll play Warzone. Or like, Fortnite or some shit. So
I mean, the issue is a lot of COD pros just hate on new talent coming up anyway.
But it's always been like that. So like, I ain't going to change. I think that's fine, to be honest. That's how it is. Like,
but I will also say the younger kids don't do themselves any fucking it goes both ways.
That is true. That is true.
It goes both ways.
You got any final thoughts, Dom? We're going to do a little Q&A after this.
Yeah, like, I mean, on the Envoy shit, great player, great champion. It's just, his take was just very disconnected, and it just wasn't good. But you said, a part of me, I mean, but you said, I don't never really think that way, because I feel like there's a bitterness for me, because I fucking didn't get to play for 2 years after I went pro. But me getting over that bitterness, yeah, the younger kids definitely should be able to play. Like, that is probably why there's a lack of passion, bro. It'd probably be nice to have some, like, fucking 15, 16-year-olds around fucking just never off the game, Like, that type of young kid passion, that shit is different. It'd be interesting to see how like, it would be, like, how they would handle dealing with, like, grown men, like, teaming with grown men. But just give them an opportunity to showcase their talents, Like, they can't, like you said, I mean, I really liked your take. I haven't even thought about like how the S&D scene died. Like, there's really not much to do. Like, young kids can't play. If you're 18, 19, like, what can you play other than challengers, which is dog shit? You might as well just go get a job or go play a different game.
Back in the days, S&D scene used to be popping. We used to see 4K Chals with and all those people. Now the S&D front runners is Meal Team 6.
Yeah.
Which by far, like, if you never watched Funny S&D, go watch Meal Team 6, Fatty, Lito, Methods by far. But what I'm saying is, like, bro, you used to load up Twitch back in like Black Ops 3 or something like that. It was ill.
Oh my god, bro.
All those S&D going crazy. Now you load it up, we're watching OpTic SCRIMS and fucking Jay Lito and Fatty are screaming at each other because Fatty's got pissed up. Like,
I used to be watching Nick Mercs every damn night. I'd go to bed. I'd go to bed watching Nick Mercs, Amps, and Neo, whatever his name was. Play 3v3 Chals on Stronghold Search. Man, those were the days. And they'd come up against pros and shit, and like Nick would be getting slammed occasionally. Wow. He was pretty good, but he weren't like good. So that was such a good time. And watching Nature and Bose play Road to 100-0. I don't really exist anymore, man.
Bro, even GB's going down, bro. Like that.
Yeah,
bro, that was a staple for my streams last year on MW3.
Yeah.
I was doing Road to 100-0 with viewers.
Yeah. And
we got to like 9-0 and we'd get tucked, but like,
the thing that pissed me off is when they brought in Game Battles integration. It was like the best shit they ever done. Back in World War II, you go on the GB integrated ladder on the website, you load up a GB, it puts you in the game, and then you go in the game and it lets you join the lobby straight up. And then they ran it back it was actually Infinite Warfare it was in first. They put it in Infinite Warfare, they ran it back in World War II, and then it never came back again, and then GB's dead. It's like, oh my god. That's what I'm telling you, we've gone back 5 years and we've wasted 5 years. I'm fuming. But it is what it is.
The good old days, man. Loading up a 2K. Yo, join the server. We got the match.
Frustrating thing is that like there are solutions to the problem. I know that EasyMac did a thread about it. Like, I think, it's not like we're just complaining just to complain. Like, I think I think we do have things that the league could do to fix the problems. Like it wouldn't be, it may never be what it once was, but like the writing's on the wall for some of these issues. But you know, time will tell. There's only so much we can do. All right, let's do a little Q&A before we finish out the show. Appreciate you all tuning in on this Monday afternoon. Nice little picture, by the way, Trey. So you took two of us. The one I've got the original in the other room. I brought it back with me, so I might either scan it in or something if you want a better quality version. The little Polaroid. Right, okay, it's loading up. Yeah, the Polaroid. Yeah. Because he took two. He took one for him, one he gave to us. So I got, and then we edited Don in it.
I haven't checked my phone for hours. Some people were watching the show.
They give it.
So I wish I would have seen this. I wish I would have seen this like when it happened.
Right, that's what I make sure I have my phone here, because last time I gave a take on Gwyn, he followed me and DM'd me straight away, and I was like, this is gonna be a good talk.
Okay. Damn, it's because I didn't want to be distracted, so I put my phone away.
Bro, this is just like
Next time I'll be on my phone to see if anyone messages me. That shit was funny. I would have definitely said something in the moment.
100%. So someone just asked, Temp and Trey, are you guys interested in returning to the league with or without expansion? Personally, for me, I'm not. If the opportunity arose to come back without playing challenges and someone gave me a spot, I would. But like the whole grinding aspect, little Falcons aspect, yeah, for sure. But you know, I've always said it, like a coaching spot, that can go. That's just not my thing, you know. I got a nice little gig here with my dog, Mr. Rab. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna stick with him.
For me, I'm definitely interested in coaching, like in the future. For me, like I like didn't play this year, obviously, but I realized that like I was coaching Byron's team at the end of last year and a little bit at the beginning. I realized like, and then just even not doing that, I realized that like, I mean, Trey, you've been around me. Like, there's low key like something wrong with me, and like, it's like a evil. I don't want to be spiritual, but like, there's something wrong with me. So like, COD without competitive, like something to kind of like be aggressive and like, kind of express. Like maybe that's bad. Maybe I shouldn't express like frustrations and passion into COD and then take it out on my teammates and shit like that. But if I don't kind of like do something like that, like the gym has helped me a lot with that, but if I don't like kind of do anything like that, I end up like forcing it out on my day-to-day life. Like I'll end up like maybe trying to argue with my girl or something, like or try to like that's just something. Maybe I need therapy or something. But I feel like not competing in COD for this, like it made me realize like there's something wrong with me. Like for now until I get therapy or something, I need to compete. So my plan is to definitely compete next year. I know challengers is dog shit. If I play challengers for a bit and it's just not making sense, then maybe I'll try to coach or try to do something else. But for right now, my plan is definitely to compete again. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. Like I feel like there's just something that I need to express. Maybe that's why I make music. There's something like emotionally, like if I just keep whatever emotions I have inside of me, then I just start doing like shit I shouldn't do.
No, you got that competitive drive and energy in you that's difficult to get rid of. Like it's been the same for me. Obviously not competing in this way, but like a little personal aside, I've been doing a couple like trials at a couple different swimming clubs locally because I used to compete. I used to swim when I was younger. I used to be pretty good, and there's a couple clubs around, and there's one that I went to the other day, and they're pretty good club. But like, if I joined their club, I'd be the best swimmer at the club. I don't want to be the best swimmer at the club. I want to be pushed. I want to have competition. I want to have like a relay team.
Yeah.
Like I want to have dogs to go to battle with.
I'll start coming down, start swimming, but I'll show you straight up. I got some flippers on there.
Oh yeah. So there's
I got these
club.
size 13s, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know you.
It's going crazy.
So yeah, there's a club just down south where I live, and I'm gonna, when their pool reopens in April, I'm gonna go join because I want to compete again this year, at least in something, because I just miss it a little bit, you know.
I'm low key the same though. Like I do miss competing, like the competitive aspect. My thing is though is like the amount of stress it caused me because I was just like when I was playing like Unreal with no stress, no nothing, and then I got put into a situation of, the London team, I couldn't get a visa, so I couldn't play, so I was just stuck in challenges getting bopped all year. And then I get back, we start great on Vanguard, and then some shit happens with my ex, and then some shit happens with my teammates and stuff like that, and it's just that stress that I don't get with not competing, and I realized that the last time when I got dropped, it was like, bro, this is like this scene just it just sucks, because like you get dropped for no reason sometimes, and you just got to live with it and try and get back up there. And then when I realized that like it don't matter how good you are, a lot of the times it's like personal like beefs that stop people getting on teams and stuff like that. Yep. That's when I realized that's when I realized like, maybe I've got to step away from this, because
I agree with you. Like, I fully understand that. And I'm actually learning about burnout in the class that I'm taking. That's just simple things you experience when you experience burnout. Like, that's why I decided to step away. I was burnt the fuck out, bro. Last year in Challengers, I didn't give it my all. I got on, I streamed, because when I streamed scrims, I got a lot of viewers. Even though I prayed every day, our scrim got chalked. I was for the amount of effort I put into last year, I was actually gross, because I literally did not give a fuck. I hated the game. It's not that I hated the game. I didn't mind the game. I just hated the situation I was in. I felt like, damn, how the fuck am I even in this situation? Like, all type of burnout thoughts. But then I realized when I leave, I'm like, yeah, I don't have the stress. But there's like a part of me, that's why I feel like something's wrong with me. I'm kind of addicted to that stress. Not having the stress, I kind of try to create life problems to create stress. Like, I try to like, I don't like the way my girl did this today, so then now I'm fucking mad at her. But like, if I was just playing the game, I would have a stressful situation to where at the end of the day, I could just tell her, baby, in scrims, this motherfucker was pissing me off today, instead of being mad at her, just trying to create some war with her. Like, I'd be literally, I'm telling you, I'd be trying to create war with people, like mental war, like just problems, because I don't have anything to like compete in. And then when I'm competing, I create the problems with the niggas I'm going against. Sorry, not trying to say that word. The people I'm going against, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, competition is a healthier way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
We can be your therapy session, Don. You want to hop on air every week?
Maybe I need to talk. Maybe I need to talk to more people about it. But that's just how I feel. Like, I literally,
I feel like it's that competitive drive, and like you said, like nothing's better than getting angry at someone and in Call of Duty, and it sorts itself out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like success. Boom. Me and them had a row. I'm stressed out. He's stressed out. Next scrim, we fry. See, motherfucker. Like, that's what I've been telling you.
Love that shit, bro. I love that shit. I love that shit, bro. It's like just the psycho inside. Like, I love it, bro. I
feel like you would love coaching. Like, I know you've coached before, but I feel like you would love coaching in the CDO, because if you want stress, by far get yourself in that bastard.
I'm open to coaching. I just feel like I feel like as a coach, because even dealing with theory, I feel like as a coach, the number one thing you need to do is realize that you can't have that thought of coaching that I'm better than these players. So that's sure. I still have that.
That's gotta be tough to drop, huh?
That feels like I'm not ready to coach. I'm not ready to coach if I feel like I'm watching you. Like, when I was coaching Byron's team, no disrespect, I was coaching Byron, Spart, Fire 40, and Frosty last year. I competed last year. Obviously, I said I didn't give it my all, but like, I'm watching these guys play. I'm like, these guys are fucking awful. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just in my head. And Byron, they think they're awful too. Byron's not calling out because he's like, bro, we suck. Like, they got top 16 at ESWC. I was coaching them for ESWC with Charles Mystic. I was like the co-coach. Like, I didn't like record VOD or anything. I would just come in and like say some things about Hardpoint. And I'm like, bro, these guys, like, what the fuck? I should be like, they would deadass do better with me on the team. Like, I was just playing at Champs like 3 weeks ago. Like, I only didn't play for 2 weeks. Like, we'd be better off. That's just how I felt.
I'm still at that stage though, where I feel like I could come back and do better than some of these players. But I'm also at this stage now where I'm like, I've done my time in the league. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I feel satisfied of what I've accomplished, but I still feel like I'm better than like a lot of people. Like there's
It's
no.
also it's also like forced retirement though. Like you didn't want to like stop playing. You just
Yeah, I stopped playing because of like I just had a lot going on this year. I was burnt out. Like how you got personal issues, I had my same personal issues. Like me and my girl were moving. It was a lot. Like I'm engaged. Like this is like I'm in my first real ever relationship. Like we were living with my mom. It was a lot, bro. I'm in school. Like it was a lot going on. So then I was just like, maybe I need to be done. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like I need to either coach or compete. And I feel like right now I want to compete. And then if that doesn't work out, well, I'll look into coaching after.
Nah, I like people still say it like people say it just to say it to their friends, but like I still think you can compete.
Yeah.
You wasn't one of those players I looked at that was like, he's ready, he's done. Like, right, you've always been like top.
Yeah, my last season, Modern Warfare 2, I had top 10 numbers on LAN and online. I was just stats wise, I was perfect. I'm good. 1.1 AR, that's straight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I can't go to the league and get kills. Like,
listen, I ain't gonna lie, you could hop in this league and talk a couple motherfuckers because
I can hop in this league and easily get kills. Shout out to Slasher. You know what I'm saying? My boy Austin, he in that shit shooting. I can shoot. I'm gunning him. I'm gunning Slasher to sleep.
I will.
Sure.
Because listen, I stand high. I stand high on my pride sometimes as well. But listen, Clayster gassed me up at the bar on the Sunday. He said there's a few players that can come back, and he said I was one of them. And he didn't even say that to my face. He said that to someone else. So that wasn't even like he was forced to say it. Man still thinks I can shoot, and I know I can.
Yeah, bro. There's some not old ass players. I'm sorry. There's some older players or retired players that were gross, bro. Like. And there's some people right now that are fucking ass, but
oh god,
we'll keep that, you know what I'm saying? We'll keep that pushing.
Fact.
I'm gonna find a Don Dada lineman card real quick. Mattis did ask a question. He said, "Temp, any thoughts on why that MW2 Vegas team didn't work out as well as it could have done? I feel like it had potential."
I mean, bro, we missed a chance by like 1 or 2 games. So obviously there's just so many moments. There's so many different moments. Like one moment, like you can, like when you miss it by that close of a margin, every series mattered. Like we would lose to teams that we shouldn't have ever lost to. Like, were you on London in that game, Trey?
MW2, no, I got dropped. I got dropped.
Okay. Well, we lost to London like one time. That was like our team was way better than them. We were playing better than them at the time, and somehow we lost. The first split, I ran out the door with a knife, like trying to do it all, and costed a fucking round in game 5 that ended up biting our ass. Even though I played good the whole series, that shit was just unacceptable. I literally ran out a side door on fucking hotel search. The bomb site that was in the kitchen, I literally ran. Yeah. But like it goes under the radar.
I remember watching it.
It goes under the radar, and you try not to remember it because it's like, oh, it's just one match. But then you realize, damn, we lost by one match. We missed this shit by one match, and I was like, damn, I ran out of side door with a knife. What am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's so many moments like
you've done that, but you've also watched your teammates get tucked for like on every reef.
Bro, TJ got LASIK. Bro, going into that game, TJ got LASIK. There was like 4 different times, like somebody's right on TJ's screen and he didn't see him. Like there was a clutch the other day I watched, and it was I think it was Envoy. It was like a list. They literally have like a clip of a listening, and they were like, to your right, to your right, to your right, to your right, to your right. And then the guy like hopped on TJ, twerking on him, and just turned around and killed TJ. He was camping on the palm tree on Fortress. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember
yes, bro, he got LASIK, bro. This guy was going blind the first 3 months on my team.
My God.
We're like, to your right, to your right, to your right. Oh, you didn't see him? Like, how the hell you didn't see him? Now his eyes are healed. Now his eyes are fully healed.
No way.
Now his eyes are fully healed and he's shooting.
That's why he's back.
Got LASIK on my team.
He was costing you too.
Like, bro.
Shout out PD, by the way, for the 5. This is the Don Temp 2023 season card. 89 overall.
Yeah, it was good, bro.
You were cooking.
That's solid numbers.
Hell yeah.
That's solid numbers. So obviously I'm still good.
You know, your last season, really.
Yeah, it's my last season. I went straight from that to Challenger. So, and during the season, obviously they asked me to re-sign, but I'm thinking I'm good as fuck. Can I get on a better team? No, maybe I didn't talk. I think looking back at it, I should have been
a bit more politics.
Yeah, I should have been politics.
That was my thing. I don't politic. I don't like it.
I thought my play was enough. I was not
Bro, I
talking
said
to
this, bro. I've
nobody.
been doing the same thing. I was like, yo, I've been talking these clowns for a while. Maybe my gameplay done the talking. Next thing you know, I'm back on the min. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
It ain't fair out there. It ain't fair.
People gotta realize that, like, if you start, bro, you can talk your way into a team. Like, you can just straight up chat your way into a team.
You can. I told Byron to talk to Clay at that Sunday night. Like,
Hell
bro,
yeah,
I'm like, Byron, you better go up to Clay. You better buy that motherfucker a drink. Next thing you know, I open up Twitter. I'm seeing rumors Prolute to Vegas. I'm like, see,
I'm telling you.
that should be working.
Me and Don next event, we gonna be chatting up everyone.
I'm getting back in my politic bag.
Like your trait.
Wait, Lamar, you need another. You want a Sprite? Like, I got you. Like, you want food? I got you. You know?
That's the game, baby. That's the game. All right, a couple of questions to answer before we close it out. Lloyd says, should a CDL team veto their worst map or the other team's best map? For example, Toronto are 8-1 on Skyline Hardpoint. Teams either have to play them on it or risk playing their auto veto. I think there's a question about vetoes. I know that OpTic were talking about it when Preb was there, that they had maps they just hated and they would just ban them. I think that's what most teams do, right? They have a map they don't like, they just ban it. And I think sometimes that's fair. I think if you're a team that's not the best, you could probably get away with it. If you want to be the best team in the game, I don't think it really works like that. I think you need to have the diversification or whatever. But I mean, you guys were players.
You can go. You want to go first, Trey? Go ahead.
I'm like on the, I don't know, I'm on the fence about it because, like, listen, if I'm 0 and 8 in a map, I don't want to play that map.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, I think what we see is a lot of teams just when they're not even that bad. Like, bro, oh my god, don't even get me started. OpTic, for example, they are horrible at vote control, horrible. And who they play? They play Falcons, and that's Falcons' best map. I don't give a fuck if you're playing fucking infants. Just ban their best map. And guess what? They didn't ban their best map. Falcons beat them on the control, and it just makes it look dumb. But it also goes team to team, right? Like, you know, you don't want to play FaZe on their best map, but do you want to let FaZe play you on your worst map and just fucking belt to ass? You know,
it's extremely situational. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Like, for even the OpTic situation, it's so much. I feel like you should analyze the way people are. Like, I know Benjay always likes to talk about vetoes, and people like to talk about vetoes. When a team is awful, don't worry about their vetoes. They're fucking awful. When a team is competitive or good, then you should deep dive their vetoes and look at their decision making. Because, like, even the OpTic one, you're like, it looks bad on their skyline. Apparently, they are literally couldn't even play protocol. So if they, in their minds, they have automatically lost protocol, then they have to play skyline vault, because they're just fucking awful. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a bad team, you're just a bad team. Like, they would have played protocol and lost. They would have played vault and lost. It's just situational. There's no right or wrong answer. And it also, on the flip side, at the beginning, MW2, my team was like undefeated in Fortress S&D. It can like play into your advantage. My team was like undefeated to the point where like we didn't even play it for like 3 months. People just auto vetoed it versus us. So then we would just get we just got to automatically play 2 search maps every single series that we were good at, like no matter what.
Gives you a chance to get better at other maps too. When you're that good at a map, people don't want to play on it. It's like
we didn't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's like us with Gavutu control. Like we were the best Gavutu control team of all time, and you know, but we were good at another control. So when people they were like, "Oh shit, which one do we ban?" And then they're fucked. You know, that's the best kind of VOs.
Yeah, they're fucked. Yeah, that's literally how it plays both ways, and it's just very, very situational. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
Mindy says, any teams that haven't made a change that should. I think Zuma was saying on stream that there might be one more change coming. I don't know if you've heard anything of that sort, because I hadn't heard any rumors. But
I heard it.
I guess you're looking at the teams. I mean, we mentioned Ravens probably need one. I guess that's the answer, isn't it, really? I think you could argue, like, Heretics made a change. They brought in Super. What else can they do? And then C9, I think, are fine. The only other team is Boston, right? That could make a move, but you know me, I'm pretty satisfied with them. But maybe you can't rest on your laurels. Like if you know what I'm saying.
Let me ask our guy.
Okay, well, ask our guy. Because if you're like, let's say you're Boston, you're looking all right. You've played some difficult teams lately. Obviously, you beat Thieves in the major, locked up a top 6. That was good points. But also, you've got teams behind you like RØKKR making moves. You've got Cloud9 trying to make a run. So, you know, maybe there's like obviously OpTic are making a change. They're all in a similar boat. So it's tough. But also, you're taking a risk if you make a change at that point. So I think like Ravens, I think, should make a change. Because I think if they don't make a change now, they'll be forced to at some point.
All right, nah, there are no more changes.
No more changes? All right, no more changes. All right, we'll do one more question. I think we covered some of this stuff during the show. I know that there was, yeah, there was this one from Mage. For Rab, you talked about before some COD pros disliking / blocking you. What about COD pros that you didn't like or have them blocked on Twitter? Were there pros / AMs that you really hate? Or other people in the COD scene like GMs, coaches, staffs, like CDL staff, crew? Honestly, not really. Like, you're always going to be friendlier with some people than others. It just is what it is. I think in the COD scene,
you don't like Wake.
I have no issue with Wake.
But he's got you blocked, don't he?
No, it's Abuz who's got me blocked.
Abuser, that's it.
Yeah, I don't Wake. I don't have an issue with Wake.
Oh, Wizard got you blocked? That's good stuff.
Yeah, Abuz still got me blocked, bro. The funny thing about that is because he's got me blocked, like, I actually really like the Surge team. 04's class, obviously nasty, and Neptune, I've got no issue with them. I'm glad that they're doing well. But every time a Boozer plays, I'm like, can he drop a little stinker just one time? Just one time. But he never does. He's been frying,
Rab is a hater, bro.
He's been frying. Look, we're in the generational haters club for a reason. But he's actually been cooking my shit, so I respect it heavy. But honestly, like, not really. I think most people in the COD scene, they want the same thing. That's what's nice. Okay, some of the Challengers players rub me up the wrong way just because of the way they act and stuff. But it's like, look, I get it. If I was in their position, I wouldn't say that I'd be that different often. And most people just want... My feeling is, as long as you want the best for the scene, as long as you're trying your best to make that happen, either as a player or as someone who's involved in the scene in some capacity, then I'm going to fuck with you. That's the way I look at it. So... You know, that's my take. But, you know, I've been around enough years. I made enough mistakes, made enough corrections. You know how it is. We've been there, Don.
Enough money.
Yeah, I had to block Rab. I had to block Rab at one point.
Yeah, we got...
I don't remember for what I blocked him for, but, like, I just remember as a player, sometimes, like, you just get annoyed with that, like, with people speaking on you. You just get annoyed.
100%. If I was a player, I'd do the same shit. I'd be muting me. I would be going to YouTube and being like, do not recommend or whatever. 100%. Because why would you want to hear what like the media has to say about you, right? Like,
the shit that would annoy me the most is my mom, because like my mom obviously is like she's rooting for me. She'll like watch your shit, and then like even with the shit with Doug, like I blocked Doug whenever like the New York shit was happening, and Doug was pissing me off, and then I'll go downstairs and be like, and my mom is like, "What is about Doug?" I'm like, "Mom, stop. I already blocked. There's a reason why I blocked him. Now I can't even escape him because my mama bringing up Doug." My mom bringing up Tag Rat. I'm like, I block Rat. I'm not trying to see nothing he got going on. Mom talking about Tag Rat in the kitchen. I'm like, God damn, I might as well unblock this motherfucker at this point. Dang.
The funny thing is I was saying to Rab, I say to Rab, it's funny, like Rab talks about like stuff that's already public and stuff like that. So like, you know, he's just spreading the news across, which is great. He's trying to help esports grow, but it's funny how it all comes full circle that like, you know, we all like right now, like Rab's probably spoke shit about me, spoke shit about you.
Right.
And now we're doing a podcast with him. You know what I'm saying? Like everything going full circle. You know, I think people got to show some respect to Rab too, just because of how long he's been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? He started off like just, you know, he started off as a European COD fan. Now he's the worldwide news. He's like he's like Fox News of the COD league.
Yeah.
I respect it. I think most of the players, like, they get it. They understand it at some point. But I also 100% get it from their perspective too. If what you said, Don, was funny though about like the parents, because like the parents all watch my shit. I know, because they all talk to me about stuff.
My mum loves watching your shit, bro.
Yeah,
That shit
I find it
that
so
shit
funny.
annoyed me. Like that shit actually annoyed me like so bad.
I don't
But then I
blame
remember
you,
when I
man.
unblocked you. When I unblocked you, I realized. I mean, whatever you said, I can't remember what happened, but whatever you covered was already public. You're just covering a public story, so it's not like you're like leaking information or doing anything. You're just giving your opinion and putting it on the platform. So if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. I mean, that's just is what it is. It was already public, you know. So that's the way I like looked at it. I'm like, he didn't do nothing wrong.
I fuck with it. I fuck with it heavy.
Alright.
Just one final thing. Apparently, OpTic attacking FaZe in scrims.
Really?
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
Wait, who
What
tweeted
was
it? Did Ronnie tweet it?
Oh, 3-1.
Yeah.
It's 3-1 right now.
Damn.
And they're about to
Yeah,
win
here
this
we go.
protocol. That's it.
But I will say, FaZe always look ass online.
The scrims they usually
Really?
godlike, to be fair.
I'm about to say those guys are the best scrim team I ever played.
I mean, in
Maybe in
matches
this
they don't
game.
look great. In matches they never look fantastic, but then they go to LAN, they just look like the dog's bollock.
You're right, Ro.
This
Okay.
This is where people buy their OpTic coin early. They're like, yes, we're back.
OpTic are back. Hook is back. The truth. The truth. But
So it
good
is.
signs. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fun little show, and I'm going to have to just quickly correct the cameras because I messed it up again, of course. So, you know, L producer back at it again. But yeah, Don, absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. Enjoyed your company. We yapped about a lot of stuff. That's what it's all about here. You know, we telling the truth as it is. You know, we don't mess around on this show. We speak our minds, and I think the community appreciate it. So thanks all for watching live after the fact on YouTube and Spotify. If you're watching on Spotify as well, you can watch the whole video on there. We don't just upload the audio; the video's on there too. Drop a little 5-star review, but. Yeah, Don, any final thoughts before the weekend? Because big matches coming up. OpTic versus Ken. I'm sure you're going to be watching that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm excited to watch these matches. I'm gonna be more tuned in since I'm gonna, be speaking on it. I got to make sure my word is true and holds weight. I'm just happy to be here. It was a good show. I feel like the shows will be better, like the more I'm on here. Let me know if y'all feel like I talked too much or did anything that was bad or I cut you off. But yeah, I don't know. That was fun. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
That was fun. That was lit. I'm excited to do more shows and watch the games. Hell yeah.
Hey, listen. Probably one of my favorite shows I've had in recent times. You know, it's always nice getting another pro player aspect on there too, especially someone, I've teamed with Dom, we've had beef, we've had love, you know what I'm saying? It's
I like this dynamic, actually. It is fun.
We've been through the ringer, like we got stories and shit like that. It's great. So yeah, like I said, it's a pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in. Pre-show coming up on Friday. Maybe we'll get like Gersh and stuff on as well. He said he wanted to hop on Friday, see if we can get some like people, get some more personalities around there, and keep supporting the show. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to reach 100K. I think we can reach 100K by the end of the fucking year. So if we can, hey, keep subscribing, keep supporting Breaking Point. Go watch Tac Rab's videos every day. Yeah.
Leave a like, leave a dislike. If you like us, if you hate us, that's what it's all about, the show. Appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.